wanna be liked by everybody in sight, but trust me, being free ain't spite. Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? Or just breathing? Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? Or just breathing? Flashing red lights, driving at night, windowless ride, feeling alive. Nothing in sight, forever in flight. Follow those lines, we'll make it this time. Blurry street lights, work as a guide to memories that we're making tonight. Oh yeah, we'll make it tonight. Yeah. I'll do anything that I feel like I wanna do. I'm living life like I got nothing left to prove. No end in sight, just always staying on the move. I'll go all night if that's just what I got. It's life's too short to care about what you can't afford. Memories are in what you explore, so just don't be ignored. Go ask for more, go ask for more. Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? Or just breathing? Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? Or just breathing? I'm in a race that everybody's chasing fast. They wanna be that someone on the screen at last. They ain't looking inside for their needs in life. They wanna be liked by everybody in sight, but trust me, being free ain't spotlights. No, it's long nights and it's long fights with yourself all the time to get your mind right. But if you put in the work, you can find the light. Alright, I'll do anything that I feel like I wanna do. I'm living life like I got nothing left to prove. No end in sight, just always staying on the move. I'll go all night if that's just what I got. It's life's too short to care about what you can't afford. Memories are in what you explore, so just don't be ignored. Go ask for more, go ask for more.
And a warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. We didn't slide back on in during the intro, but we're here. Sorry, ladies and gents.
Great intro. First time seeing it.
You haven't seen it, have you?
Yeah, you got a shot of me. Cheers and to the audience and everything in there.
Got be done. So welcome, ladies and gents. Sorry for that bizarre sort of a glitch in the matrix that just occurred there. You are watching your favorite podcast episode, number 85. We are plowing on through this. We've got quite an action-packed episode today. Lots to bring you. Some old news, some new news. But of course, because we do this on a Tuesday and a Thursday, there's some kind of overlap here, there, and everywhere. It's actually quite beneficial sometimes where we're a little bit delayed and we only do this twice a week because we get some of the updates that others would have not had they made their video a little bit later. So, you report on something instantly and then wait a little bit, then there's more updates, then we can kind of give you the whole story, as it were. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. I mean, we've got numerous legal issues for Disney. I mean, it's actually quite insane, genuinely quite insane. So that's going to be fascinating. We've got Nicolas Cage quitting. What a shame, but going out on a high. We've got Ray. Yeah, put a Ray in it and make it lame and make her gay. That's Kathleen Kennedy mandate for the Ray film, it seems. So we've got loads of topics. Thank you all for joining me and the gang here on this lovely, wet and windy Thursday evening here in the UK. Where are you all from? Please do let me know down below in the chitter chatter box. Would be very interested to hear where you're all tuning in from. So just a few real quick things, and it is real quick. This is funded by you guys, for you guys. We get heavy demonetization. So if you want to join in, but also support the show, keep the lights on and keep the show running, super chats are the way to do that. They're an integral part of these podcasts. They help a lot, and they go an awful long way because of YouTube's very bizarre, strange policies that nerf channels like this and podcasts like this. So super chats are the way to keep it nice and healthy and keep it alive. It's also a great way for us to literally speak to you. So you post a comment with a super chat, we will cover it, we'll talk about it, and they're great. So do that. Please become a member as well. Have I forgotten anything? Yes, I have. Everyone's channels will be linked down below in the description box. And speaking of everyone, we've got 2 people here joining me today. We've got some other people rolling in a little bit later on, but we've got Culture and we've got Nick. How you doing, guys?
Oh,
Man, I'm doing great. Freaking my freaking crypto gains, man, are insane. I'm up like $6,000 in the last 2 months.
Jesus, that's good.
Yeah, crypto market's exploding. So yeah, it's been a good day today.
oof.
Nice. Well, is there any particular reason for that? I don't know. I mean, something I'm
yeah.
familiar with.
So anybody that knows anything about financial markets, all the big investment firms have applied for spot ETFs for Bitcoin that are coming the first of January, like within the first 2 weeks of January. So everybody's starting to flood back into the market. So once those spot ETFs get approved, crypto's just gonna explode. And it's already started. It started back in October, but when they found out about the applications for the spot ETFs, so yeah.
Nice. So what's the end goal with that? Are you going to sell your crypto?
Yeah, so anybody that knows anything about crypto cycles, they run on 4-year cycles. So I'm basically going to hold everything till November, December timeframe 2025, and then I'll sell everything, and then I'll wait for the next Bitcoin halving, and I'll start buying back in September of 2027.
Wow.
And then I'll ride it right back up to the top. Rinse and repeat.
Making dollar bills.
Yeah.
Culture, are you making dollar bills?
Yeah, I'm just not in the crypto market. No, I'm doing well. Got a lot of enterprises working right now, so trying to build things for others as well. But mostly, I'm just making videos, and I'm loving the videos that. Wow, you put out 7 videos today, Mr. H.
I don't know if I made 7 today. I think there's a few more videos ready to drop. So it was like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So there should be 5 that released today, I think, overall.
Okay.
But then there was all the ones on the second channel as well.
Yeah, that's what it was. Because
they all needed to be edited and put together. So that's 5, 6, 7. That's 8 videos that we released today across 2 channels, which I do all the work on, ladies and gents. I don't have a team like some people do. Not here, but other YouTubers have a big team that they work with. I like pottering away by myself doing this stuff. So
yeah.
Good fun.
Also, I finished One Piece finally last night.
Nice.
What do you think overall?
I absolutely loved it. Such a good show. Very well done. I knew nothing about it going into it, and I was pleasantly surprised by the entire thing. Pacing, the actors, the characters, very entertaining. Loved it. Can't wait for season 2.
Yeah. Well, I think they're ready to go now, as far as we're aware on it all. I think did an update not too long ago, so they're pretty much ready to go on it. Scripts are kind of getting finalized, and then they're shooting it.
Can't wait.
You could jump on that ASAP, I think, something like that. So, well, anyway, let's. So speaking of super chats, we have had some super chats roll in, as well as some membership milestones. So if you become a member, you get a free monthly super chat. So please do become a member of the channel or a Patreon. Patreon, I actually get more money from. Now, the reason why I say that is obviously the purpose of being a member as well as super chatting is to support the channel. But YouTube takes a third of that, which, if you want to do super chats, absolutely please do. I'm looking to get, Streamlabs set up so you can do it via that, and they take less of a percentage. I just need to get that set up. I might just get Culture to do it, quite frankly, because my boomer ass can't figure it out. But Membership's cool. Patron, I get more money, so please do become a patron if
Yeah.
you so wish. Anyway, WCW 2793 for $4.99 says 82 years ago, Pearl Harbor was attacked and Japan awakened a sleeping giant. Never forget.
True story.
That's right. That is today, December 7th.
That's today. So we can't linger too much on that. I'm sure YouTube would not enjoy that.
No.
Accent Seller for 50 Norwegian kroner says, looking forward to Andor Season 2. Such a rare gem in the otherwise garbage Disney portfolio. I heard it's delayed to 2025 due to the strike. Thoughts? So they had already been filming quite a lot of it, quite frankly. Not quite sure why it's delayed so much. I guess the remainder of it next year a little bit and then have to do it. But they were deep into filming anyway, so I'm a bit surprised to hear that. 2025 seems a bit late.
Well, okay, so some of the people that were involved in that show also have commitments to make other films and things.
Hey, that makes sense.
Yeah, so that would be my speculation. So I'm not surprised, but it could be that they're reworking the show entirely. I mean, Disney's been
that's what I was thinking,
taking it on the chin a lot lately, and it wouldn't surprise me for that to be one of the reasons. So.
KK's probably like, look, we're doubling down, rewrite this show, put a woman in it, make it gay, make it lame.
yeah. You know that what was that droid called? Just swap it out for a lesbian. That's fine.
No, it wasn't that
Wally Jr.
Yeah. God damn. Anyway, there you go. The Icelandic Filipino, speaking of members, has been a member for 6 months. So thank you so much, Mr. Filipino from Iceland. Icelandic Filipino. Accent Seller, 20 Norwegian kroner says, Nick, love your background. The game blew my mind. Thoughts?
Yeah, so if you guys don't recognize it, that is the city of Midgar, Final Fantasy VII Remake, which I was just talking to Nate and Culture before the stream started. Game Awards tonight, going to be some big Final Fantasy VII Rebirth news. It's my most anticipated form of anything entertainment-wise for all of next year. I'm super hyped for that game. I'm a huge Final Fantasy VII fan. And definitely looking forward to that tonight.
Awesome. We've got Lester San Jose, the Skeptic Tank. He's been a member for 4 months. Says, keep up the good work, guys. Constantly enjoy the banter and analysis. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do appreciate that. I'm sure everyone else does as well. I say it every so often, and it's with absolute sincerity. I'm very, very pleased with the direction that the podcast has gone. Very, very happy. Couldn't be, I couldn't be happier with the way it's received and the fact that you guys keep coming back and the viewership has consistently gone up, etc. Very, very happy with it. So thank you all so much for that.
Yeah, when we first started this, I think you had like a little over 100 people in the first.
Yeah, 100, 200, stuff like that.
Yeah,
it wasn't much.
First couple streams.
It's gone up and up and up. So yeah, it's been really, really good, really, really good. And you guys love it. You keep coming back. So, that's why we're speaking about the intro, making the intro better, doing the segments, making them better, and just kind of, improving the quality to give you guys, the kind of show that we want represented here.
Yep. And we should have an outro. We should have an outro sometime next week. So there's that.
Awesome.
Yep.
That'd be cool. That'd be really cool. Yep. Batter SSL for $2 says, what's up? When's the Disney crime documentary?
Oh, soon.
You know what? In
that
years
should be
to
our
come,
next documentary.
Well, I just think in years to come, surely that there will be things about this. About everything that's happened. We'll get into it in a bit, but you've got to imagine there will be stuff, surely.
Yeah.
Especially like the likes of Bud Light, for instance. How to tank a business overnight.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Speaking of, did you hear the latest on the Dylan Mulvaney showing up to some university to give a speech and nobody showed up?
No, really?
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
He was giving a speech to I think there might have been 1 or 2 people in this entire conference room auditorium type thing. It
comedy gold.
Yeah,
that's comedy. So if you can't co-opt it, you can't you sort of co-opt an already popular event no one will come to your thing. Basically, is what they're saying.
Yeah, Bucky
seems to be
Cat
the
said.
take home from that.
Yeah, Penn State University, and not one person showed up. Yeah, so
that
it was
is
completely empty.
so funny.
And I think
we've
they
got
paid him like $100,000 or some crazy amount of money too.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
I should just chop my dick off and grow some tits or something and make loads of money. Fucking hell. I'm quite attached to that, guys. I'm not going to. Don't worry about it. We've got our first member of the show, and that is Gillian N. Thank you so much. Has become a member of the channel. And not only that, we salute, and we especially salute because she also gifted 5
nice
memberships to the channel. Thank you so much, Gillian. Do we all do a salute? Salute, please. Thank you very much. Genuinely, thank you very much. And I hope you enjoy the membership here. You do get some special little like emojis and stuff, although I need to kind of update them as well. But it's all a work in progress. We'll get there. We'll get there. Mr. Tickle Drunk Salute has also given 5 YouTube memberships. And Culture was late on the salute. He hasn't saluted. He is otherwise busy. God.
I'm doing 5 things.
I don't give a shit.
I know. Sorry.
Israel sent him $5. Says, greetings to the Hcast. Can we know if the new Ray is actually in production, like commitments to theaters or other documents? So there was a production weekly listing, which seemed to indicate that, but we'll kind of get into that a little bit. It's not in production yet. That's seemingly the thing. There was a production
still in
weekly
pre-production
state. Yeah, it's planning phase. No principal photography yet, but I mean it is going ahead. But we'll get to that. We will get to that. Promise. D has been a member for 10 months. 4K aliens. That is all I have this morning. James Cameron's releasing a load of 4K stuff, which is cool. Like good to see. Hopefully,
we get aliens in 4K.
But but they do weird stuff with it. Remove the film grain and all this kind of.
Did they pull the grain out?
More often than not, they do. Yeah.
Oh.
In an effort to make it crisper, they also changed the way. So, like, if you remember, like old film blacks, right? Night color black as a color doesn't actually. It tends to kind of wash out here and there. Yeah. And that's that's why a lot of films, they have that it's a certain charm, isn't it, to old films. And they kind of remove that as well. They grade up the blacks to make it pitch black.
Really? They crush the blacks as well. Fascinating. That's so it doesn't pixelate, right? So
yeah, I think so. Yeah. But again, and then the film grain comes out and it's We'll see. We'll see. Jonas J. Campbell. I thought is this a membership renewal?
I think he just became a member. I think that's
Oh well, Jonas.
Yeah.
Hell.
Thank you, Jonas.
We salute you. Thank you so much. And another one, get your hands at the ready. CC Karaoke. Thank you very much.
All right.
And Al Humphreys sent in a super sticker for £10. Thank you so much, good sir. Hope you're well. I see from your comments in the chat you have been having a little tipple, a little drinky poo. So I hope you're having a good time, Al, my dude. And I hope I hope you're all good, chap. I see Midnight's Edge After Dark there. Why are you not in the chat? I sent you a link. What's going on? No, I'm kidding. I know you're busy, chap, and you're kind of running around. You hop in as and when you are able to. Yeah. But I do know that you probably want to get on to chat about this topic. So hopefully you can come in super, super soon. Because let's move on to our first topic, ladies and gents. And again, as we've just done with that, we will intermittently take some stops here and there to engage with you all. So send in your super chats. We will engage with you. Yes, kind of between topics and things. But sad news, and it is sad news, but good news as well. He's quitting acting. Nicolas Cage, the Cage Rage, the Rage Essence, KJ Essence. He's quitting. He's done. So he came out and announced basically he's got 3 or 4 more movies left. Not the 3 or 4 more movies that he's got listed on his IMDb. Probably going to be a little bit above that. And he actually based this on his father because his father died. When did his father die? I I can't remember where it was actually. Basically, he's basing it on his father dying at a certain age, and because of that, he's like, right, I've got X, Y, and Z amount of years left in me.
Yeah.
Sad. I think.
But-
Shame.
I mean, he's been doing like films like left and right, and for a while he was just doing anything that
Do you know why though?
because
Do
of
you know why?
taxes.
Because he had was it $14 million IRS?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I know, but he cleared his debts last year. Which is great. And he also said, hey, look, you know, quite wholesome reasons as well. So his father died at age 75. He's like 59, isn't he? 60. So he's like, well, I've got, 3 or 4 more movies left in me. It takes you quite close to that age. It takes you close to, that's about 65-ish. And then he's got, a couple more years left. Because basically he says he just wants to spend it with his wife and kids. He just wants to enjoy himself.
That's smart.
That's really nice. But he says he's open to doing TV. Can you imagine Nicolas Cage in a TV show? Nicolas Cage Star Wars Disney Plus show. I would
or an actual real national
Nick,
or an actual real national treasure.
Watch that in an instant, Nick.
No, I think he's better than Disney Star Wars. Like,
okay, yeah, no, fair enough.
like I don't want to see him like that's bottom of the barrel at this point.
That's true.
Like he deserves to be in projects better than Disney Star Wars. Don't go out like that, Nick Cage.
We didn't say any of that, but
yeah,
he says, I do want to explore other formats. I'm very interested in immersion streaming because this guy's really intelligent. If you've watched him in interviews, he's a very intelligent chap.
Yeah.
In immersion streaming with episodic television, I have seen things that can be done now with characters and the time they're given to express themselves. I saw Bryan Cranston stare at a suitcase for an hour on one episode of Breaking Bad. We don't have time to do that in a feature film, so maybe television is the next best step for me. We'll see. After 45 years of doing this, that in over 100 movies, I feel I've pretty much said what I've had to say with cinema, and I'd like to leave on a high note. Adios. I think I have to do maybe I have to do maybe 3 or 4 more movies before I can get there, and then hopefully switch formats and go into some other way of expressing my acting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, I said in my video, and I didn't catch this last part, bit of this interview, I said he actually would have left on a high note with Pig, right? Did we all watch Pig or not?
I did not see it, but I heard good things about it.
It's an exceptionally good film. If you haven't seen it, it's exceptionally good. Unfortunately, it looks like perhaps the trailer was of detriment to the film because they kind of made it out to be a bit like John Wick-esque. Now, I never watched the trailer. I just heard it was great, so I watched Pig without the trailer. And people who had watched the trailer felt a bit disappointed with it. But if you've not watched the trailer, don't watch the trailer. Just watch the film, and you will go, that is one of his best performances. 20, 30 years. It's so good. It's an exceptional performance from Nicolas Cage. It's very, very good. But I said he could have gone out on that as a high note. That was amazing.
Yes.
And so he says here, he would have liked to have left on a high note like his latest release, Dream Scenario, but I have other contracts that I have to fulfill. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm going to be very severe and very stringent on the selection process moving forwards. Dream Scenario is pretty good. I like Dream Scenario. And a lot of people are probably laughing and joking, going, he's going to be stringent with his films, blah, blah, blah. I mean, he starred in a lot of shit, and he did that. He chose to work his way out of debt. It was a choice. He could have taken an easy road out of it, basically, but he chose to work his way out of that debt, which I think you got to give him props for, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
I would
thoughts?
see him. I think television would be good for him moving forward. I mean, look at Kevin Costner in
Yellowstone.
In Yellowstone. He would be good in something, if he got with a good writer, good showrunner like Tyler Sheridan. So I'd be all for him doing a show if it's a good show, on that level and scale.
You mentioned that, right? But he says Breaking Bad, right? So if he got like with
Another
Vince
great show.
Gilligan, yeah, if he
Yeah.
got with
Yeah.
Vince Gilligan, that would be a great pairing
Yep.
because those guys are bright, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another
Yeah.
great showrunner.
I don't think there's much, like, if I'm looking around the array of TV now, like what he, could kind of slot into
Well,
that's out now, basically. I don't think there's
I
much
think
that he'd be quite good in.
I think if you were going to do anything Disney, I know Nick freaked out when we mentioned Star Wars, but if you were going to do anything Disney, you could just come back and do a real National Treasure show, because
Yeah.
the one that they put out was dog doo doo.
Yeah, well, they won't now, because that'll rub them. They'll sort of spit in the face of their agenda of putting a chick in it, making it lame and gay. So can't really do that, can you?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so a few years back, for instance, if this was fast forward a few years, time melds together, I think he'd be quite good in something like Fargo, for instance.
Oh yeah,
Quite a long sort of long form episodic series, that type of thing. And that would work for him. But there's not really much now that's coming out that I look at and go, there's not much now, in fairness, that's coming out that has any actors of note in it either.
Okay, so if you put him and Goggins together in that Fallout thing, that would have been great.
That would have been good. I could totally see him in that for sure.
Yeah, like that. There really is nothing else coming out, is there, to be honest?
I don't know, but the chat's on fire over there. I'm watching the chat.
Reacher season 2 here next week. Drops. You never saw first season though, did you, Nate?
It's good.
So good.
I know. I got so much crap to watch. I got so much crap to watch. Yeah. Maybe Tom, what do you think Nick would be good in on a series if he was switching to TV?
I think I can do all the shows. I should do a comedy, a drama, and a romance, because I'm a loving man. Hi. I'm a treasure protector.
So any recommendations, suggestions, any thoughts? What do you think about?
I think I should be a cop or a cowboy or a cowboy cop.
What do you think about him quitting? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah,
Dave?
that's a good question.
What's a what?
What do you think about Nick quitting, Tom?
What am I quitting?
Acting.
Oh my god!
Says
like actually, what do we think about? What do you think about?
Who said such a horrible lie? No, I don't think Nick's going anywhere. I don't think he is. He says it now, but his kids are getting older. He's freaking out because his dad, I think, passed away at 75. Dude looks better at the age of 60 than I do at 43, right? So I think he's fine. Sure, he's lived a hard life, but I don't think he'll get bored. He'll get bored after a couple of years, and he'll be like, I got to do something. And I mean, if he gets to do a TV show like a Taylor Sheridan show, that might be right up his alley. But yeah, because I could see him doing something like Tulsa King.
Oh yeah, like what Stallone's doing. Yeah.
Or the new one he's got, Lawman.
What's that?
The
Lawman Bass Reeves show.
Yeah, the new Tyler Sheridan show. Something along that. A cowboy cop. Like Tom was saying a minute ago.
Cowboy or cowboy cop.
Yeah.
Oh, you're wearing a Ninja Turtle shirt. Look at that.
Shirt.
Yeah.
Vintage looking.
Vintage.
That's not really vintage.
Well, there we go. Nicolas Cage quitting acting. You will be missed, Nicolas Cage. You will be missed. Genuinely. What a shame. If you quit acting.
I mean, if he does 3-4 movies and then he does a TV show that takes him up to 70, I mean, that's pretty much retirement age anyway. So
it's got good innings, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty decent. Well, there you go. Let's shuffle on because we got some more super chats that dropped in. So High Def 10 for $10 says, what do you think of the story from Alien Dark Descent? It's all right. That's kind of, they went a bit balls to the wall. Wish they fleshed a little bit more out. But yeah, it's all right. I don't have major thoughts outside of that. I don't think anyone else has Any thoughts on that at all? So it's kind of me just
know.
answering that. But yeah, I mean, it could be better. Could be better. Put it that way. Give me Alien Isolation 2. Accident Seller sent in 50 Norwegian kroner. Says Cameron and Aliens 4K. The Terminator 2 4K has no grain and looks like shit. See, I said. The older Lionsgate 1080p, on the other hand, puts a jolt in my big wang.
Wow.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Well, I
there
mean,
you go.
you know,
Whatever floats your
Never
boat.
mind.
I
mate.
mean, have you seen them yet? I mean, they don't even come out till this, unless he's talking about even the digital versions don't come out till the 12th, I don't think, do they? Or did they come out?
Oh, I
already?
think he's saying if.
yeah.
Oh,
Tom,
if.
what? Tom, can you explain why they're ripping grain? Something that it makes film endearing. Why they rip that out of this 4Ks? That makes no sense.
All right, I don't know. James Cameron, Peter Jackson, George Lucas all have this thing where they think grain is bad, and they smudge it out of everything. I was so depressed after I got American Graffiti a couple weeks back. This is why the Star Wars films look so sterile now. James Cameron did the same thing with Terminator for the 3D version, so hopefully it's not the same here. I've heard some good things about these scans, because I heard the problem was theirs. They took the 3D scan that was only supposed to be used for the 3D version and put that on the 4K version. So that's why it looks all smudgy like that. Because to reduce the grain for the 3D version, they do the typical thing. Now, I'll accept that if we get a 4K version that looks amazing at some point, but they've re-released that same crappy version like 20 times now. And I'm only exaggerating a little bit. It's literally been like 3 or 4. And
3 or too many, isn't it?
yeah, well, the thing is because the thing with James Cameron is he has to sign off on these. So if it's anything but, I believe, Terminator and Titanic, he has to sign off, because everything else, he's got it in his contract. So they can only release the last okayed version that he has. This is why we didn't get a version of The Abyss for the last 30 years, because his ass just didn't take the time to go and sign off on the scans they've done over the years. We've had HD scans of them. They've just sat there waiting for him to come in and look at them and go, okay, and sign off on it. That's really all it boils down to. So they can only continually release the last version he said okay to. That's why we never got True Lies on Blu-ray either. Same exact reason. Aliens we did get, but we'll see how he treats the more recent one. That might be one of the other ones he doesn't have a say over whether or not it gets released, but I think he does. So
yeah, well, there you go. D sent in 10 Australian dollars. Says, I hope The Abyss comes out great in 4K. I really rate the special edition, and I've been looking forward to a 4K version. It kind of encompasses what we've just sort of said there, I guess. Evil Bunny has become a member. Salute.
Hail, Evil Bunny.
Thank you so much. Daniel John 19 sent $1.99. Says, make the Ray film, let it fail, and make Disney worse. Absolutely. Just saw The Abyss in theaters and loved it. It's nice when old films come back to theaters, isn't it? You know why? Because it reminds you that theaters used to make good films.
Yeah. Studios made great films, and theaters showed great films, and you enjoyed those moments. And
Back Way Yonder.
yeah, it was.
Back Way
It
Yonder.
really wasn't as far. It wasn't really that far back.
I know.
It feels like it, but yeah.
Acting like it's like some it feels like a distant fucking memory at this point. Excuse the language. It really does. Goodness me. Right. Well, let's shuffle on, ladies and gents, to one of our headliner topics, because I think we can all do the good laugh. Right. Well, that's right. Yeah. So we've got a rumor here. It comes from WDW Pro and That Park Place. Kathleen Kennedy is expediting the Daisy Ridley's Ray movie. Disney executives are terrified of another The Marvels failure. Well, they should be.
They should be.
That's undoubtedly what's going to happen. Because the thing you got to remember, and I think it's really important to say this from the off, is that the only reason people tuned in and stayed through in the amount that they did for the sequel trilogy was, one, The Force Awakens released in a period of time where there had not been any Star Wars movie for X, Y, and Z years. So there was mass hype. From there, people obviously started to understand what was going on. They realized there was a subversion of expectations, but they stuck around because they started the story. They dropped off little by little, but they stuck around in some numbers. Now, we've had years and years and years of shit Star Wars TV. And you've also got to remember, this is a Rey movie. We know everything that Rey's about. We know what the character is about. She was one of the biggest issues with the sequel trilogy, among many other things. Where's the incentive for anyone to watch this? There is literally no incentive. This will do the Marvel's money numbers. Yep. It will. So just on the headline, what do we think?
Typical Kathleen Kennedy, Lucasfilm garbage nonsense, pretty much. At the end of the day, I mean, it boggles the mind to sit there and wonder how an executive over a studio like Lucasfilm can't read the writing on the wall when it's right in front of their face. It's like they just don't care. They're going to do what they want to do, and they don't care if anybody shows up and even watches it. Like, and for Bob Iger just to sit back and just do nothing and be like, yeah, sure, Kathy, whatever you want to do over there, you have my blessing. Like, that just adds to his failure as a leader over there at Disney. He should have been gone a long time ago. She should have been gone a long time ago. Probably over half of the people at Lucasfilm and Disney should have been let go a long time ago. But this is the state that we live in, and this is the kind of crap we have to look forward to. And people aren't going to show up to watch it, and it's going to take drastic changes before people are even going to be willing to even give it a chance anymore. So yeah, sad state of affairs for Star Wars and Lucasfilm.
Star Wars,
nothing but Star Wars.
Now I'm so freaking bored. Take it away.
I have to say that, the diminishing returns for the Star Wars sequel trilogy was stark. You went from making over $900 million just in the domestic box office with The Force Awakens, and then it slides over $300 million down to just a little over $600 million for the second film, and then you get to the final thing and it's down at 500 million domestic. So that it just went, and then again, I mean, Disney doesn't learn. They just don't learn. I mean, no wonder executives are terrified of another Marvel's failure. Well, duh.
Well, her track record's not been that good lately either. I mean, the indie film. I mean, it's a trajectory of Disney overall, isn't it? So it's not just Lucasfilm, but it's the trajectory of Disney overall. They tarnish every single brand that they've got. I reckon this. Do we think this will be a Star Wars movie that will struggle to hit $100 million domestic? Because I genuinely think that might be the case.
Yes, absolutely.
We're looking at something going. The Rey movie is going to be like, here, Solo, hold my Bud Light.
Yeah, exactly. People didn't show up for Solo, a Han Solo, an original character,
directed by Ron Howard.
By Ron Howard. Yeah. They didn't show up for that film. You think they're showing up for a Rey movie? No.
And the actors that were in it, there were some pretty big names in that.
Yeah.
No, but we all know what this is. This is to save face on Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Iger because they're in it together, right? This is their legacy. It's tied to this character. It's tied to the sequel trilogy. They have to do something. This, to me, is the equivalent of renewing Batwoman, right? Like, exactly. This is them just having cognitive dissonance about this, going, we're going to shove this down your fucking throat, whether you like it or not, because guess what? This is the future of Star Wars. Deal with it. Like that. To me, it's like the equivalent of when Ghostbusters 2016 come out and they're like, chicks are funny. Deal with it. It's like the same thing here. It's like you challenge accepted, bitch.
But at least Ghostbusters, at least they stopped with that one movie. Lucasfilm's gonna keep going.
Well, that's why I compared it to Batwoman, right? Because it was just to renew the show in the face of or 3, but just to renew it just because, right? There's no show in the history. I guarantee you, there's no show in the history of shows that got renewed with that low of ratings ever. In fact, I'm not even sure if a show ever got that low of ratings before.
No, it got canceled. It got canceled before it got that low. Well, actually, the CW was
That's
setting
what I
new
mean.
records all the time. I mean,
Well, yeah, because they had to add an extra decimal point to the freaking rating to the deal just because they did. I shit you not.
That's true. Nielsen ratings, they had to add extra because they'd never had that before. Yeah.
That girl, man, that is a distant fond memory of my YouTube.
But that's the best I can compare this to, because that was the studio and the network going, we're not going to cancel this purely out of the fact that, that if we do, it's admitting defeat, right? So if they don't do this movie, it's admitting defeat. And Kathleen Kennedy thinks she has an ace up her sleeve with Dave Filoni. Yeah. That's the problem.
And I don't understand the mindset behind that. It's like, people make mistakes. People screw up. Just own it and say, hey guys, we hear you loud and clear. Like the creators of the Sonic movie, the first Sonic movie. When that trailer came out, everybody was slamming it. They weren't like, oh, we're doubling down. This is our Sonic. They said, oh, hey, we heard you loud and clear. We're fixing it. And they fixed it, and fans came out and supported the movie. They're just like, they don't care.
Yeah, they didn't sit there and be like, no, you're in the wrong. This is an amazing design.
Yeah.
Bigot.
Sonic has always looked like that. You're a bigot.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, it got them a sequel and a threequel and everything else. So yeah, listen to the fans.
And a spin-off TV series, no less, remember.
I know. Yeah. They need to just listen to the fans. They are fans for a reason. They are fanatics. That's what fans is short for. And it's because they are goo goo gaga for your product. They are the people that will mouthpiece it up, or they will make sure it goes down.
Great example, Godzilla.
Yeah. And the fans want to give Disney their money because they like these IPs. They love Star Wars. They love Indiana Jones, all these other Willow, all these IPs that they ruin. They want to throw their money at you, for cool stuff and great content. And you just aren't giving it to them. And you refuse to understand and see that and change anything. I'm just like, what the hell's going on?
Well, apparently, Lucasfilm wants a $225 million budget, but Disney wants it to be 170. That is nothing. I bet they want it to be more than 225.
Yeah, they need to give this an $80 million budget if they're going to go through it with it. 60. Come on. Yeah. In between 60 and 80.
It's going to be shot all in front of volume anyway.
Yeah, give them $15 million. That's what it costs to make Godzilla. Good enough. Good enough.
Oh dear. God, what an absolute travesty that Star Wars has truly become. It really has. It really has become a travesty. What a joke. What an absolute joke. Yeah, bad times. But I can believe it. I can believe it. When's KK and on? I thought you were bringing that back, Tom. What's happening with KK and on?
Oh yeah, what happened with KK and on, Tom?
Oh, sorry.
You're all wrong. There is no such thing as the acolyte happening. It is just a ploy. It's a sizzle reel. Do you know what a sizzle reel is? It's not a real thing. It's just to get funding so they can make the show. You guys are so wrong. The secret is Kathleen Kennedy was fired in 1986.
And the funny thing is, KK Anon also just came out and said that this Rey news is fake news and the movie's not happening.
Did they really?
Yes, I swear to God. I just
joking me.
I literally woke up and was like, what's going on YouTube? And saw KK Anon and was like, they're like, so there's reports of, or hang on. So there's reports of this Rey movie. It's not happening. It's fake news.
Who is saying this?
KK Anon.
KK Anon.
We don't want them to say their names. We don't want to give them their actual, spotlight.
Right.
I'll put it in private chat.
Yeah. You know what this is? This is just people being a contrarian fuck.
Yeah.
Well, it's sourced down to somebody who was well respected for a while.
Yeah.
But then people started to realize they're full of shit. Yeah.
I know you're talking about that. Yeah. I'm so glad people finally realize that guy's a fucking dumbass. He blocked me on Twitter because I called him out on his language, because his language was really odd about one thing in particular. And I was like, so that's an odd way to put it. And he was like, block. I'm like, all right, you're a pussy, but never mind. It's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, never mind. Right, let's shuffle on, guys. We've got 800 people watching, which is truly incredible. So thank you so much. Please do hit that thumbs up button though, whilst you're rolling in here, because it doesn't help the video out. I don't really care about the video getting likes, but the reason why it'd be good if you give it a thumbs up is hopefully it will tell YouTube will then see you liking the video and want to tell you that we're live in future. Basically, this video gets unlisted, so it's genuinely not for the likes. So, but if you can, hopefully YouTube will tell you that we're going live in future.
And also, what's really important, and I want to mention it while we have the audience here that we have, you want to check out the Live Archives channel, because we have clips that blew up from this show over there. We just had one of the Grease clips went bananas.
Yeah. Oh yes. But yeah, the second channel to Mr. H Reviews is Mr. H Reviews Live Archives. It's where this podcast goes in its entirety. It's where all the clips go. They're all chopped up. They're all different videos. If you miss parts of the stream, they're all up there. So please do check it out. It's linked down below. Hit subscribe down there on that channel and turn the bell notifications on, because that Grace Randolph video was so funny.
It is so funny.
So funny. And it absolutely blew up. It's got like nearly 50,000 views. Just went mental. So it's an economy in and unto itself, ripping on Grace Randolph these days, which I can live with that. That's funny.
Me too.
I'm down for that. I'm so down for that. A few things. So because we've got 800 people here, please do, and I say this because I tweet things out and things like that, follow me over on Twitter at Mr. Reviews, as well as my Instagram at Mr. Reviews. I don't really push either of those, but if you could, that'd be great. So Mr. Reviews for all of that. Twitter, Instagram, go give me a follow. Just real quick to address Tuesday's stream. You may have seen on the main channel, I had to remove a video. And it was about something that we discussed on Tuesday's stream. So I was contacted by the chief of security of Lionsgate.
Oh no,
of Lionsgate.
And I had to hop on a Microsoft Teams meeting, speak to him. Because of all the stuff to do with the Crow.
Because of what we were talking about?
Because of all the stuff to do with the Crow. So just to have that confirmed, that was all legit. I had to delete the video. So it's gone.
No.
So what was the issue? Because of the leaks.
Yeah, because it was all legit. So it's all gone. So just to give Lionsgate some props, and I will say this, and this is kind of some peek behind the curtain, as it
They
were.
didn't do shit to my video or I show your video, just saying.
Okay, well, all right. Well, listen. Anyway, you may get, well, just as an FYI, I'll give them props because they came out and they were like, look, we're not asking you to, but we would like you to. And FYI, like they actually can instigate things behind the scenes on YouTube, like many other studios do, just to abuse the copyright system and take it down, and give you a strike and just go, yeah, fuck off, I'm not going to listen to you, basically, because they can initiate those things. It's not right, and actually they'd be wrong for doing it, but they can, and YouTube would not do anything to them at all. So I'll give them some props for reaching out and discussing it with me, and basically saying, look, we'd appreciate it if you did, blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, it's all confirmed. What I said was 100% legitimate anyway, so that was interesting. And they did say, well, it might not be the final film. And I said, yeah, but it's going to be because your budget's not very big. And they were like, so that was quite funny as well. It's basically the final film.
For those of you who saw the segment, there you go. And
yeah, it's a bit like it's all legit.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with like to put it into perspective, Legendary just did a copyright strike on my video about Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. They were just assholes about it, and it really puts a sour taste in your mouth. But when studios come to you and actually discuss it with you and go, look, hey, we understand you've got a big reach, we understand these things, etc., 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 that's really good. Like that's good. That studios actually engaging. So I've got to give them some props for that.
Yeah.
But it was interesting. Yeah, it was interesting. I'm not going to ask anyone to take videos down if they've got it of it, but I would say potentially, maybe, please. But I'm not going to ask anyone to. But it is what it is. But hey, there you go.
Wow,
So I'd
interesting.
address that. But it's that I respect them a lot for actually reaching out. I will say that, like, and actually talking to me. Whereas, like, Legendary are just assholes about it. Like, they're real, just assholes.
So if they listened to that video, hopefully they took the feedback that we were given and were like, maybe we have some time to change some
No,
stuff.
they didn't. And no, they won't. And I'll tell you why, because they wouldn't have asked him to take it down otherwise.
Well, no, they won't anyway, because the budget's too small. Like, they're not going to. And that's what I said to them. Like I said, you're not going to change it because the budget is too small. But anyway, props that they actually asked. Let's put it that way. I think that's cool.
Instead of just striking your video.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, so, you know, James Woolard in the comments is like, they've got no legal basis for asking you to take it down. I know I didn't sign any NDA, and that was my rebuttal. But having done this for a very long period of time, they can initiate something, as you guys will know, behind the scenes on YouTube that will just make the video get taken down anyway. And then the channel, my channel, incurs a copyright strike. You get 3 of those copyright strikes, you're fucked. That's it, you're done.
Yeah.
Channel nuked, gone, never to come back. It's gone. And so, because I've already got one from Legendary active at the moment, I can't risk 2, because I think on 2, I can't live stream. It literally wouldn't be able to do this show for you. I think it's 2, isn't it? 2 copyright strikes, you don't?
I think you're correct.
Is that right?
It all depends on the severity of the strike and what it's for, I believe.
So the fact that they asked me, I took it down as a gesture. Let's put it that way. I took it down as a gesture of goodwill, because they don't have to. No. This is the thing. Like, they could act like Legendary and be dirty dogs about it and be assholes, because they can. Like, that is, they can just do it, and it's not right, but they can do it.
Nintendo's the same way.
Yeah, because YouTube just doesn't punish them for, you know, studios abusing the copyright system. So it's gone. But that's why I thought I would explain it anyway.
Hopefully everybody here heard that segment. That's why you guys got to tune in to all these shows, because there might be something discussed that we have to remove later.
Well, like I said, it's still on mine for now until they come yelling at me, but I don't know. Mead's kind of under the radar, so we'll see, unless they're listening right now.
Depending on how you've labeled it, to be honest.
I didn't even put it in the title. That's what I'm saying. So, like, we did it after the other stories, and then we just pulled up your video and we just played the section where you talk about.
Honestly, you'll be fine then. You will be fine. But anyway, let's get it.
It's already out there, and again, I stand by. If they really had the time and money to change it, they would have took the reaction and said, "Well, fuck it, we'll leave it up there," because then he'll be wrong in 6 months when the movie comes out. That's why I feel like that you're 100% right, and they ain't gonna change it because they ain't got the time or the money, like you just said. And
honestly, you watch that film come out, it'll be exactly word for word what I said. It'll be word for word.
You've had pretty good sources.
Yeah, you always have good sources. I mean, yeah.
But anyway, sorry, just as a quick aside. But again, follow me over on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. Reviews. I want to see those numbers go up, especially Instagram, because I've got dogs.
Yeah,
Jasper photos. I saw the Christmas one where he got a haircut.
He's looking so handsome with his new haircut. Yeah,
little dapper chap.
Yes, he is.
He's a cute little boy. Anyway, so Mr. Tickle Trunks sent in $2 Canadian. Says Nick Cage is a long-term villain in Tulsa King. Please.
Oh yeah,
that would be excellent. Yeah, as an antagonist to Sly. Yeah.
I'll be right back, guys.
Yeah, I've heard such good things about Tulsa King. I need to watch it. I need to get on that. Donovan Bradford sent in $5. Says, at this point, if they wanted a strong female in Star Wars, why not mine Darth Bane and his apprentice? She was pretty strong and took him down.
Huh?
Who's the apprentice? Oh, we lost our resident Star Wars expert. Bugger.
He said he'd be right back. Yeah.
I'll be right back. Well, yeah. If there is an established one anyway, yes, they should do that. I agree. Mr. Ali sent in £10 and a super sticker. Thank you so much.
Proper money.
Chap. Do appreciate that. We got Dragon Reborn 35. Darren sent in £5. Says, hail Mr. H, CC, Nick, and Tom. Hope you all and everyone in the chat are well and good. KK has dirt on everyone at Disney and knows where all the bodies are hidden.
Yeah, well, she put them there.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, with sheer boredom of her shit takes,
Ugh.
I'd imagine. Can you imagine going to a party with that? God, what a party pooper that would be.
Well, I would imagine Frank's been living with it for a long time. I feel bad for Frank.
God damn.
Uh,
Space Jettison gifted 5 memberships of the channel.
Thank you.
And we salute you, good sir. Thank you so much. Do appreciate it. Really do appreciate it. We're getting some great members today. This is incredible. So
Thank you.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
It means a lot, genuinely.
Yeah.
Miss Zen has been a member for 18 months. Thank you so much.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Quick salute. Thank you. Yeah, do appreciate all of that. Thank you. Incredible stuff. So what we'll do, cover the Kathleen Kennedy thing, I think.
Yeah, Frank.
What should we do? Hey?
Frank's here.
She's not here, is she?
No,
If
no.
she finds me, she's going to make me do stuff.
I know.
Yeah,
I don't want to produce any more Indiana Jones movies.
right, ladies and gents, let's shuffle on to our next topic. So I saw this floating around on Twitter, thanks to world-class bullshitters. It looks like Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom toys are already on clearance before the movie's released before Christmas. Where's the logic in that? Some of them are $3.
Wow. They're trying to get in front of the Marvels to get the product off the shelf.
I mean, yeah, I know, but you'd think, right? Like the logic to me doesn't make any sense. So you've got right. You've got Christmas coming up. The movie hasn't even been released yet. It's not. They're not even on sale. They're not even on a Black Friday discount sale. They're on clearance.
Probably because they've been sitting in a warehouse forever. Because you guys got to remember, wasn't this movie supposed to be out last summer?
Yeah,
or in March or some shit like that?
It was before that.
It was moved like 3 times. Yeah. So at this point, they're just probably trying to get the shit out of the goddamn warehouse.
Was it?
It's insane.
Maybe it was 4 times this movie moved.
I don't know.
It moved as many times as the Flash did because it was supposed to come out. There was a timing thing for the Flash and Aquaman. Remember? Because they were going to have some characters in there from the Flash or whatever.
Originally, the Aquaman movie was supposed to come out before, and then it got flipped, and then it got flipped again, and then
Well, $3 for these, luscious looking toys.
Still better than.
These are $5 if you want a Aquaman Barbie doll, basically.
So they're all basically half price already. Yeah.
My
Clearance.
goodness.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's real bad. I mean,
This is as bad as the Shuri dolls I found for $1 a pop. Because those, they're taking a loss on. Shuri from Black Panther 2, I found a whole end cap. That's all they had left was just Shuri. It was all Shuri.
Who wants that toy? Who?
For $1.
God.
Which means I know they're taking a loss. Yeah.
You can get Black Manta's sub for $15. What a bargain.
This is probably because the Flash stuff didn't sell. I think the only things that sold from the Flash stuff was the Batmobile, which is funny because the damn thing's hardly in the movie.
I mean, you can get an OMG Fierce thing for $15 as well.
Whatever that is.
That $5. That's $15, isn't it? Or 5?
And
I don't know
what?
It says it looks like 15 from here, but it could be wrong.
When all these go down
probably.
to less than $1, I mean, they might be worth me buying to put in a pelletizer so I can make it for my 3D
To be
printer.
fair, I think that thing we're looking at now is 15 as well.
Yeah.
But normally it'd
So
be like
bad.
30. Like I said, all this is like at half price, basically.
Yeah.
So bad. Again, this movie is projected. Well, currently it's gone up a little bit, $50 to $60 million. I reckon that will go back down to $30 to $45 million opening weekend.
I can't see it making more than 50 in its opening weekend.
No.
I think this thing's going to do right in the same ballpark as the Marvels, and then that's that.
Yeah. You know what? If it does, one, I love that because it's so funny that sequels to billion-dollar movies have just completely tanked and failed, which is just hilarious. But secondly, I think it's, if that bombs as well, you know what the highest grossing DC movie would have been lately? Black Adam. Black Adam.
I don't even think it's going to do that good. I think this is going to do below Flash, because we were just, I think we discussed it on here and other places, but I stand by it. I mean, the Flash at least had Michael Keaton as an ace up its sleeve, and that still wasn't enough to deal with the Jack or the Joker that Ezra Miller was. You got a similar problem, or worse of a problem. You got a poison apple card with Amber Heard. And I'm sorry, ain't nobody loving Jason Momoa that much.
Nope.
And once word gets out about certain things in this movie, a lot of that female base that would normally go see this is not going to go see it.
And rumor has it that they've kind of turned this into like a buddy cop comedy movie.
Yeah, well, apparently that was always
that
the
is,
case.
but
yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. That was always the case. Yeah, shut up. Whatever. Of course it wasn't. That's why you ended up trying to work. You know, you had the Trench movie, and that was all cancelled. You're trying to rework things and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, right. Whatever. We know you're trying to change stuff. But I just think this is hilarious. Personally, I think it's very, very funny. It's a sign of the times. The slow death. You know, is it comic book movies dying? No, not necessarily. But it's definitely indicative of people sick and tired of shit comic book movies. That's for sure.
Nope.
Are you gonna buy them, Tom? Do you think?
No.
Those figures.
I didn't even buy
like
any of those Shuri ones.
Game.
Yeah, like I didn't even buy any of those Shuri ones. I'm like, I don't need that shit taking up space in my house. I mean, unless I'm gonna do some kind of fun project. That's just it. If I do anything like that, look at what happened to Ethan Van Sciver when he did the Ray stuff or whatever it was, or no, Rose Tico. That's what it was, and everybody come after him. He even had articles written about how he was, destroying these figures and how it was the same as just so you can't really do anything with them anymore anyway.
No,
so
you can't say anything, do anything these days. People are so offended by everything. What a shame.
Because a bunch of people send him a bunch of Rose Tico dolls or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And he'd like chop the heads off and
burn them and did all kinds of shit.
Lit them on fire.
Yeah.
That is pretty funny, though.
It is. I mean, what are you going to do with all that crap? Who wants it? It's just wasted space. I mean,
dear, oh dear. Dear, oh dear. Super, super funny. Right, well, we've got some super chats to get to. Also joining us now is Andre. So
hey, greetings, everyone. Sorry I'm late.
It's the boss.
I gotta behave.
It is all good. How you doing, chap? You right?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Doing good.
Good.
Just saw Wonka.
Yeah. Oh,
Wonka.
Okay. Good film.
It's actually really good. Yeah.
So that's what I thought it was going to be.
Oh, wow.
Good film.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah.
I had some issues with it, but overall, it's good film, good values, very respectful of past iterations, very respectful towards the author, Roald Dahl. So yeah, all good. I have the complaints I have, you can get away with because it's clearly a fantasy setting, as is all of Roald Dahl's works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Wow. Okay. Good. Yeah.
Is it more in line? I was gonna say, is it more in line with the original Willy Wonka, or is it more kind of modernized like the Tim Burton one?
It's more in line with the well. It's modernized, like the original, but it's more in line with the original, I'd say. So, okay, one more time. It's visually modernized like Tim Burton, but tonally and spiritually and in everything that matters, it's in line with the original. I mean, the Oompa Loompas are like the original. It has the original Oompa Loompa tunes.
I was gonna say, because in the Tim Burton one, they already gave him a backstory, and that's the shit I didn't like.
Yeah, no.
The Tim Burton one, I'm like, I don't need a backstory.
The backstory of this
Wonka,
one right here will sync up completely with the original, not with the Tim Burton, because of the backstory that is already in Tim Burton. That precludes this one from being part of that continuity, right? So this one right here, to the extent of it fitting anything. It fits the original more than it does Tim Burton. Of course, in reality, this is it isn't a prequel so much that it's a complete separate thing. Kind of like this is the Batman Begins, right? So it's not a prequel per se. It's obviously like you could continue making more of these movies right up until you get to like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in movie number 5 or something, because by that time Willy Wonka is an old man, lone, bitter, right? That is not how this movie ends, and that's the right decision, because there's at least 50 years between this one and the chocolate and the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Nice. All right. Well, good. Nice to hear. I'll have to check it out, to be honest. Just as an FYI, I've only had 2 people follow me on Instagram. 2 people? Come on, Jasper deserves more than that. Instagram and Mr. H Reviews. And 3 people followed over on Twitter as well. Let's get those numbers up a little bit. That would be great. But again, 874 viewers. So thank you so much for tuning in. You could be anywhere this evening, morning, depending where you are. But you're choosing to watch the HCast. So thank you so much. Do appreciate it genuinely. So let's get to some of these super chats real quick before we shuffle on to one of our not one of our headliner topics, but it is a headliner because it's a doozy. Miss Zen sent in $2, says Jasper is the spirit of Christmas. Good, thank you. I need to share that photo that I shared on Twitter, on Instagram as well. Bless him. He's a handsome, dapper little chap. Accent Seller sent in 100 Norwegian kroner, says, what about Nick Cage as Cassian Andor in an Andor season 3? Yo, somehow Andor survived. I'm not a demon. I'm a lizard, a shark, a heat-seeking panther. I'm coming for you, Vader boy. Woohoo!
He Vadered.
Christ. And another from Accent Seller says, Aquaman is going to sink like an amber turd.
Oh, for definitely.
Love it. Amber Heard class action figures. Class action lawsuit, yeah. And Al Humphrey sent in a £4 super sticker. Thank you very much, chap. Do appreciate it.
You got a point there. A Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial play set would probably sell a hell of a lot more toys.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think couldn't you do that as a parody toy? I think you could.
The problem is with likeness rights. I mean, if they're a politician or whatever, then you can get away with it, because I believe once you
become a public figure,
public figure, it's different. That's where Schwarzenegger ran into some issues with like the governated toys and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yes. Speaking of lawsuits, did you guys hear the news of Taylor Sheridan suing Cole Hauser's coffee brand?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they're battling it out in court. Cole Hauser, the actor who plays Trip in Yellowstone.
Oh, really? That's not related to that? Because I saw Walmart was just flooded with Yellowstone stuff ever since the show's been on CBS now, and I thought that was part of it. Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, apparently he's got a coffee brand that is taking advantage of the Yellowstone stuff, and Tyler Sheridan's suing him now.
He wants his cut.
Yeah.
Well, it's a big deal. Like, yeah, especially now that it's on CBS, the show is really taking on a whole new audience. Yeah.
Here it is. Right. Well, we're going to shuffle on now to not a headliner topic, but it should be. I couldn't really fit it in the title, but it's a doozy.
Row, George.
So, there was something that went down. An audit of how the Reedy Creek District Board had sort of conducted themselves in relation to Disney, and how Disney had conducted themselves as well in relation to the board, so on and so forth. And it's looking really bad for Disney. In fact, it reiterates things we have said. We said it looks like self-dealing. We've said it looks like bribery. We said it looks like they should be getting absolutely sued out the wazoo. And there you go. It's quite crazy, to be honest. It is it's an interesting one. So Disney's Reedy Creek tenure called akin to bribery, which is, I mean, literally, we said it was self-dealing, didn't we? We
Yes.
sat here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wasn't it on one of their? It was on one of their shareholder calls, wasn't it? When they were like,
Yeah.
we give the Reedy Creek this, that, and blah blah blah. And we're like, sorry, what? We shouldn't be fucking doing that. What are we doing? Why are you admit? Didn't we even say you've just got yourself in shit? You shouldn't have admitted that. I'm pretty certain we did.
Yeah.
Like, crazy times. So what happened, ladies and gents in the chat? Central Florida Tourism Oversight Board, which is the new, it's the replacement board for the Reedy Creek Improvement District Council, basically, is set to, they've considered it, so we've got the update, but it was a scathing report commission that calls the media giant's actions during its time in control over the area where Walt Disney World is located akin to bribery, and it is. I don't know how you can deny it, really. So the 90-page document, loads of allegations. They've had the meeting. They, they approve it basically. But there's loads of stuff like Reedy Creek were given the Reedy Creek board were given season passes, loads of perks, just mental stuff that they were done.
And they admitted to this stuff.
They admitted to it freely anyway.
Yeah.
Like,
well, Bob has kind of put themselves in this position because he keeps talking about the Reedy Creek district like it's part of Disney.
Yep.
Right. Like, and it's technically supposed to be two separate entities, and I'm sure they'll get into that here.
Yeah, so it says this. What is now evident is that Disney not just controlled the Reedy Creek Improvement District, but did so by effectively purchasing loyalty. The vast majority of employees at the RCID were working hard to do their jobs and were diligent in doing so. Nonetheless, because of their decisions made by RCID management and the board of supervisors, their work was tainted with the appearance of impropriety. As comprehensively documented within for years, the company treated district employees like Disney employees by, for instance, providing complimentary annual passes and steep discounts, benefits and perks that were akin to bribes. Not surprisingly, then, the district's employees believed that it was their job to prioritize the interests of Disney, which is not what their job is. So the report says control over the inner workings of the district was exercised in additional ways. For instance, contract offers only went out to an approved list of bidders. That's not appropriate. Not only was there no way for new businesses to enter the mix, no mechanism existed to determine whether the district was receiving the services rendered at fair market prices. So that's like, it's wasting public funds. Not only that as well, if there's an approved list, who approves the list? Disney. So how are they getting on the list? Again, like it's a wash. And a Disney spokesperson called the report an exercise in revisionist history. Of course they did, because they're idiots, but they can't because they literally admitted to half of this stuff. There's more things, but Culture, were you just clearing your throat? What did you want to say?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I thought I muted. My bad.
Oh, right. Never mind. But there was a lot more stuff, wasn't there, than just that? It was quite a lot of stuff. Culture, do you want to give it a quick run through?
Well, I mean, look, Andrew over at Legal Mindset did a great job breaking it down, but essentially he counted more than 12 criminal things that they did. Their bidding process, as you mentioned, was incredibly corrupt. They also formed a group of vendors that were women and minorities that would receive preferential treatment and access. They maintained improper accounting decisions and essentially practices across the board, inconsistent with anything done by any other major corporation. They have terrible contract record keeping. Lots of things were conveniently lost along the way. And then, of course, the most sufficient thing, of course, is the entanglement that you mentioned right at the beginning of this segment, the entanglement between RCID and Disney, and just how bad that was. But the benefits that they were handing out to members of RCID was substantial and incredibly improper. So there's nothing they didn't do that was legal for the most part. So, I mean, it's rather extensive. Every time we go through one little element, I mean, you have a use of the American Express card by the district administrator. You know that
inappropriate.
Well, yeah, it's insane, and I mean, like I said, there was a lot of issues with how they went about getting bids. That would be terribly improper and self-dealing. I think I've mentioned before, and this is well before this report came out, that Disney actually has its own construction company. So they would pay themselves do the work
from public funds.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the same problem was with the bond issuance, right? I mean, you just consider that they actually controlled essentially a municipality that would, get bonds funded, and bondholders like that because they knew they were going to get their money back. But at the same time, none of the stuff was being done above board. All those bonds still exist. I mean, the ones that are still, outstanding. And they paid $70 million for a non-functional power plant. I mean, it's just, there's so much here. $70 million for Reedy Creek Energy Services.
Was it clean energy culture?
Well, no, actually, that's a steam power plant, which means it was either coal-fired or gas-fired, probably gas, right?
Wow.
And then they can't even prove that they are actually getting solar energy from the two other outside sources that they've co-produced a couple of 2,000 acres of a solar farm. They can't even prove that the energy comes from there because it would have to be distributed through the grid.
They even paid property taxes of the people on the board.
Exactly. Yeah. For the houses that they allowed them to lease, which were just trailers on a cul-de-sac. I mean, this is two areas that just I can't even begin to say. I mean, they had at one point in time they had a private airport, but that was only for a short period of time. And it only was for small planes and primarily for the initial assembly of Disney World, the Magic Kingdom. But regardless, there was so much stuff being done there that. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
That's crazy. So
sounds like corporate mafia.
Yeah.
The 1967 Act of establishing the Reedy Creek District thing is fundamentally flawed, said Donald Cochan of George Mason University's Antonin Scalia Law School at the meeting, citing a lack of adequate safeguards, obviously, and no self-correcting mechanism.
No.
And all these blind people just go, no, Disney deserves it. It's their right to get it. No, it's not. It's not their right. They don't deserve it.
If you look at down in the comments, you have like the Hollywood people, and they are basically commenting, no, this is Disney's right. And eventually it's going to go back to how it used to be, which is how it should be. So you absolutely do have a lot of pixie dusters out there who thinks that this is pure political campaign. But as we see here, no, obviously it doesn't. It is not. It is absolute malfeasance here.
Well, okay, so here's the other thing. So when they go to build a building, a hotel, an attraction, whatever, back when it was Reedy Creek, you know what they didn't have? The same thing that everybody else had. They had public access of public records to what the building plans were, all kinds of things. And they didn't have anybody to look out for them because they controlled their own comptroller. And mind you, I'm sure all their construction methods and everything else are top notch, but at the same time, they didn't go through an extensive, process in order to get things built there. It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, there's other shareholders, right? There's stockholder Ancora Holdings chimed in on this and said a degree of shareholder-driven change is certainly warranted in Disney's boardroom following an extended period of absent-minded governance.
Yeah,
that is the poor governance that we were experiencing in this district. Disney controlled the old Reedy Creek board. That's a stockholder of Disney. And so it's trickle-down effect. As the shareholders of Disney currently recognize there is a leadership problem there, and that trickled down to the old board of Reedy Creek.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't believe they're saying the things that we said on official documents now.
Yeah.
Go on, Andre. I know you want to chime in, bud.
Yeah, no, I'm very, very glad that this is getting out there, because that means that, exactly as Andrew said in our stream yesterday, this is just the beginning. But what I see here is that Hollywood is very, very afraid of touching this. I will credit Deadline Hollywood for putting this story up there, but you'll note that they are mostly just quoting others, and they are doing it because they kind of have to, because it's important news. I haven't seen too many of the other trades doing it, which only tells me that this thing right here, this is going to be a big thing in culture. This is a cultural fight that is shaping up right here. Just look at the complete and total silence in Hollywood and the entertainment media complex. If there was any kind of like free press or freedom of thought or anything like that, this needed to be the top story across the board. Can you imagine for a second if the roles had been reversed and this had been, say, for instance, the Daily Wire, which also has operations in Florida? Just imagine
round the clock
here had received this kind of scrutiny, and the state of Florida had come down on the Daily Wire the way that they're doing on Disney right now, and there were similar revelations, obviously adjusted for scope.
I'll do a better one yet, Andre. Let's just say to them, just look them in the face and go, what if it was Trump?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, this is the equivalent of it, right? Trump is not in entertainment, but the closest thing to it would be the Daily Wire. And if that had been the case, the entertainment media press, they would have been on this. This would have gotten like 5 stories in all of the major trades. As it is, I had to look for this in Deadline Hollywood. I haven't seen anything in Variety. I haven't seen anything in the Hollywood Reporter. I'm sure it's going to come eventually. But this tells me that they are deathly afraid of this. They do not want to do anything to upset the narrative. And looking at the comments in this Deadline Hollywood article, there you get to see the Hollywood chills and the mindset. And they're all for Disney. And they're like, DeSantis need to be in a jail cell next to Trump. So basically, they are in a complete mindset of their own. They do not live in our reality, and neither does their trade. But unfortunately for Disney, they are in Florida. They are under scrutiny in Florida. You have the whole RICO Act that's going to probably emerge here at some point. This is going to get ugly. And what is even more ugly about it is that there is not sufficient agreement of how ugly this is. When you have so many that are going to take a political side here, namely Disney are on our side, so they can't have done anything wrong. Whereas Florida, they're the evil people on the other side, so they must be in the wrong here. So Bob Iger is saying that, we're gonna go out of like political topics and the political conversation. I'm very sorry to disappoint him, but it's no longer about the content. Now the company itself is going to be a major part of the cultural conflict going forward. And the legal side of things is very clear here. They are guilty. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But then
basically where they're at right now,
the Pixie Dusters.
I was going to say, where they're at right now is I think they're deciding on what kind of criminal charges will go forward, if any. But that's kind of where they're at.
Yeah,
that's absolutely mad.
And even look at the headline in Deadline Hollywood: Ron DeSantis appointed board. You see there? There you have the
We
angle.
predicted that shit.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's what I mean. This is the narrative in Hollywood. They are going all out to protect Disney. And Deadline Hollywood is even implying that these are, pun intended, trumped up charges by Ron DeSantis. So they're going to continue with this defense that they're being punished for using their freedom of speech. That has been their chosen defense so far, and they're going to continue to do it. They know that it's bullshit, but at this point, it's about keeping the support of the Pixie Dusters. And they're going to continue to polarize, and they're going to... they're going to be like one of the...
Because it's not really a matter of freedom of speech, right? Like, that's the bigger thing here. The problem is they're obfuscating what Reedy Creek is, or where Reedy Creek ends and where Disney begins. That's the problem. And Bob has done this to him publicly. He has publicly said these things, which has made him legally liable now. Like, this is where, people have asked us before, well, there could be this, that, the other. This is the closest we've ever come to a point where I joked, like 6 months ago, this whole thing could end with Bob Iger being let out of the Magic Kingdom in fucking handcuffs. We're getting closer and fucking closer to that right now.
We actually are, yeah.
Will anybody actually do any time? Probably not. It's going to be a lot of fines and shit thrown out there. Like, look at the whole Madoff situation. He's the only one I think who got anything out of that. A lot of these times before, when these big companies do this shit, there's always shit they can hide behind, and they'll try and probably blame this on, they'll try and go all the way to back to
some of the guilty people of that honestly needed to be put to death for what they did to the world economy. And really, they needed to be executed.
They're trying to pretend already that.
I think we should tone our language down just a little bit for my channel's sake, if that's all right, maybe.
They should have been given a good lashing.
Well, regardless, for the 900 people here, you're going to hear more about this story for a long time because we won't let it go.
Massively.
Yeah.
Nick, we haven't heard from you, chap. You want to jump in on this?
Oh, I think it's freaking despicable of Disney. It's like a revolving door of money within the company. It's all stays in house. They all pay each other. Everybody's collecting. The outside world's all dumping money into it, and then they just rotate the money around to themselves. It's a complete joke.
That's what they were doing, Nick. That's what they were doing.
Yeah, definitely. And I agree with what Tom was saying 100%. These people should definitely be let off in handcuffs and do some serious jail time or have some sort of punishment. But nothing will probably ever happen to this. They might get a slap on the wrist or something, maybe at most. But I would love to be wrong about that and love to see some of these people do some hard time and
there's one problem though, and that is this is something that has been going on for decades. I mean, it's like three generations of Disney executives are responsible for this. So basically, the excuse that everyone from Iger and down can hide behind this, I didn't know. We've always done things this way. This is the way I thought we was taught to do things. I had no way of knowing that this was wrong because this was handed down to me by my predecessor. This is how I was trained. Go and arrest him. Oh, he's dead. Oh, that's too bad because that's how they're going to do. Because you basically, you can.
They're going to try and blame it on Walt.
Back 50, 60 years on this now.
Unbelievable.
That's what I was going to say. Is like they're going to try and blame it on Walt, but we have here at least some evidence that a lot of this stuff happened after Walt was dead. So that's the thing they're not going to have a defense for. Yeah. But they also don't have a defense for a lot of it saying, well, I didn't know because it's not true. You didn't know. Yeah. And that's the thing. It's just because you didn't start the crime does not mean you're continuing the crime. And this is what Andrew was saying from Legal Mindset on our show yesterday.
Ignorance isn't a defense.
No. Well, not just that, is like the fact that they continue to do these things, even knowing that they're bad or wrong. That's the whole point. And the obfuscation of the Reedy Creek District and Disney the whole time, that's part of the problem. It's not even about the fact anymore that they didn't carry through what Walt initially had promised to in the first place. Like, that's almost like a small problem compared to the shit they're uncovering with this, right? Like, you have so many things going on here that it shouldn't be. You have employees of Disney that shouldn't be employees of Disney. People benefiting from Disney that shouldn't be benefiting from Disney. You have them basically using this city as their own, district to do whatever the hell they want. And that's why they're panicking and freaking out, because they don't have that anymore.
Yeah. And let me add one other thing. I've been in corporate America for over 20 years, and I can say from firsthand knowledge and experience that companies do this all the time, as far as blame the person that's not here anymore. Blame the last guy that was here last, that's no longer here.
I reckon they'll try and blame Chapek.
Oh yeah, this will all be.
We hope they do.
Yeah.
We hope they do, because guess
That would
why,
be
Mr.
sweet.
H? That would be the dumbest thing they could ever do, because that would then make it to where whatever NDA he signed, you can toss that right out the window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing, and a lot of people didn't realize just how powerful, Reedy Creek was. But everything, including down to the nuclear fission reactor thing that people thought was a joke or an over exaggeration or hyperbole, that actually falls within the original act for Reedy Creek. That they could do that, operate an airport. You name it. It's bonkers that this was essentially supposed to be a municipality that Disney actually resided within, not that they controlled. But
I can't believe that they didn't make a nuclear power plant.
It would have been smart, right?
I mean, I would. I'm serious. I would have done that, because not only would they be completely off the grid, that way they could sell power to Florida for extra money.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right. It's unbelievable that they didn't do it.
Yeah. No, it is. It is. So we're going to follow this like a hawk, but we do have to shuffle on now briefly. We've got some super chats that rolled in, and we're going to need to move on to our next topic. But 900 viewers in the chat, so thank you so much. Again, you could be anywhere this Thursday morning, evening, afternoon, but you're here watching the HCast. So thank you so much. It means a lot. We got T Neil here for $10. Says a joke only probably Mr. H will get. At this point, you'd find less corruption in the Eye of Terror than in current Disney. They're like an incompetent Bond villain.
Wow.
I'm not sure even I get that one, to be fair. I mean, I get incompetent Bond villains.
The Eye of Terror be something like a Cthulhu reference or something? Like, for some reason that's...
yeah, I can get that. Yeah. Like a Lovecraftian one.
Well, that's Eye of Terror is from 40K.
I was going to say, okay, that's probably where it's from then. Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but that's stemmed from 40K was stemmed from 2000 AD first, if you didn't know.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. Tom Workington at $5 says they shelved that Cena anime and Coyote film. Got a tax kickback. That's Warner Brothers. That's Warner Brothers.
Although Disney did pull down a bunch of their stuff on Disney Plus and do the same kind of thing, and that's what I thought was hilarious. Is you didn't see anybody griping at Disney the way they were at Warner Brothers. Yeah. The only person who said anything was Warwick Davis is the only one who said anything about it all. Yeah. And he's like, well, what do I tell fans now when they ask where they can find the Willow sequel series? Tell them it sucked, is what I told them.
I did a video on
or go out on the high seas of the internet.
Yeah.
Oh,
that joke was so bad. Culture's like, F you.
Yeah. Pinochet's helicopter tours. It says, how much did the whistleblower who lost her husband because of Disney have a secret hand in this? Back when she settled, she vowed revenge. She got it. I'm not overly familiar.
I don't think this is related with that. Yeah, that was something to do with the parks and how they were
revenue inflated.
Inflating their revenue through coupons.
She had such a fight with Disney. Her name was Sandra Kuba, and she was fired by Disney in 2017 after revealing. Because she was an accountant with Disney, after revealing that
I remember this, I think now.
Yeah, after revealing that she that they were actually giving away gift cards that they weren't writing out of revenue. They were just writing it into revenue when they were used. So they were handing out like $50, $100 gift cards, whatever. They weren't being sold and they weren't being accounted for. And then they've
got so much shit coming.
Yeah, they were overstating revenue. But she also found a couple other things. But regardless, she went through heck. Her husband ended up self-deleting and all kinds of stuff as Disney is literally attacking this poor woman. So
now, I mean, there is a tie in a sense that some of these Reedy Creek people, this was probably some of the things that she was finding was like these credits and stuff they were putting out there were probably people in the Reedy Creek district that were being paid via these perks. And that's what we're learning.
T Neil comes back with another $10, says, Andre, I'd wager pixie dusters will assume Malfeasance is the name of the villain in one of the old animated films. I like that. I don't expect adult discourse from the fandom equivalent of the short bus. Do you?
No.
Honestly, no. I'm hoping for it, but unfortunately not. I mean, because the battle lines are drawn and they are ideopolitical. Because the pixie dusters at this point, I mean, you have kind of like two breeds of pixie dusters, right? You have those that grew up on Disney, that just loved what Disney used to represent, and they're gone now. So who remains? Well, you have the people who may or may not have grown up with Disney, but who are definitely down with Disney's message and what they're doing for ideopolitical reasons. These people, they are not driven by rationality. They are driven emotionally by borderline religious fervor. In their worldview, Disney can do no wrong because they're good and virtuous, whereas the state of Florida is evil and Trumpist. And this is kind of like the problem. You're not dealing with logic here. And so they are not going to respond to logic. And again, just look at the comments in the Deadline Hollywood article. Logic has left the building. Those people are talking out of pure emotion and religious fervor. So no, I don't expect it. What I expect is that this is going to be like the next battleground surrounding Disney, where you have the religious beliefs versus everyone else.
So J. Rob, Detailing Island, been a member for 22 months. Thank you so much. And you get a props from T Neil. So yeah, it was a 40k reference. Sorry, my dude.
Yep.
And then we got two more here. So no Accent Seller, 20 Norwegian Krona Willow. Soundtrack by James Horner is superb.
It is. It is great.
I gave that away at the fan event thing I was at a couple weeks ago.
It was so good.
Israel R drops in with $5. Says Disney is the OCP of the entertainment industry.
Yes. They actually could have been. They operated their own security forces. They had their own SWAT team. They had their own fire departments. 3.
Yeah, literally. It's crazy what they do.
I kind of wish that that they would have bought Pepsi, because then at one point they would have had the biggest navy in the world. Because at one point, Pepsi had the 6th largest navy in the world, and it's not even a joke.
Wow,
that's insane.
Yeah, and for those that wonder, after the fall of the USSR, I don't know exactly how it happened, but one way or the other, PepsiCo were able to acquire a bunch of Soviet submarines and warships and heavy carriers and everything. I think it was all supposed to be sold for scrap or something like that, but they literally had a navy for a while there.
That's crazy.
Nuclear submarines and everything.
Wow.
That's pretty crazy. Right. We need to shuffle on now to one of our next topics. I'll sort of fill in the blanks for some people that won't be aware of what this is. So a lot of people won't be aware of what this is. In the UK, there is a thing. You don't have to pay it, but there is a thing called the TV license. Now, in the UK, the TV license is basically a poll tax, essentially. So if you own a TV, they will assume that you're watching live TV, and as a result, you need to pay a TV license to watch live TV. It's absolutely ludicrous. It's just stupid. People pay for other subscriptions and things like that. But the TV license in the UK, it basically funds the BBC. That's what it funds. And the BBC was famous or infamous for covering up Jimmy Savile and obviously all of his crimes and many other individuals that are essentially, little kiddie diddlers as well. Pretty gross people, quite frankly. They also hate the UK as well. They keep doing revisionist history. They try to say that black people built Stonehenge at one point. They're all manner of absolute total wank comes out of the BBC.
We all know it was the aliens.
Yeah, I mean, Doctor Who. BBC, Doctor Who is part of the BBC. They made Isaac Newton Indian now, for instance. They hate Britain, they hate British culture, and yet they still want everyone's money. And what they will do, because of this license fee, they obviously know every single postcode, right? They have every single postcode in a system, and they will send letters round, unsolicited letters, which is tantamount to harassment. It literally says, we notice you don't have a TV license. You will be investigated, and all this kind of stuff. You don't have to have a TV license. It'd be like a cable company, like knocking on your door going, we notice you don't pay for our service. Like, yeah. Because I don't use it? Like, of course. Like, why would you need... And they literally make you go through a system, try to inform them that, you don't use their service and all this kind of stuff. At the end of the day, you don't even need to do that. So in the UK, you can go to the website, put in your postcode and say, I don't need a TV license because I don't blah, blah, blah. Don't even do that. They will never come to your house. And even if they do, you just go, yeah, I don't need it. Cheers, bye. And just close your door on them. It's a complete waste of time. But basically, what they've been trying to do in the UK, because millions of people just went, nah, I'm out. I'm done with the TV license. Millions of people, they've been trying to raise it. So the BBC license fee will not rise as much as previously promised, government confirms. The British government at the moment are a bunch of absolute wasters. Genuinely, they hate England as well. They hate the UK. They're a bunch of scum. Absolute scum. They could get rid of this like that if they wanted. They have a majority in Parliament. Could get it like that, just done. But they don't want to because they're scum. So it's launched a funding model review. Basically, if the BBC is so good, put it in the market. Put it in the market. People will pay for it if it's that good, but people don't. People only pay for it because they feel they have to pay for it, and it's scummy, it's dirty, it's gross. Andre, don't you have something like that over there as well?
We do, unfortunately, and it's like even worse because in Norway, if you own a TV, just that it's capable of showing like broadcast TV, you have to pay a license fee for the household it's in. Simple as that. So you own a TV, you have to pay, and it's completely optional whether you watch it or not. It's just a matter you own it, you have to have the license for it. So in Norway, it's actually worse. But I dare say that our BBC, which is actually called NRK, which is short for the Norwegian Broadcast Corporation in Norwegian, it ain't as bad, and it doesn't hate Norway as much as the BBC hates England. So so you do have like some level of decent programming there. They have some really, really awesome archives and everything. Some pretty fantastic programming going on, all in all. But in principle, I'm also against paying for that. So
the UK, the BBC has not made anything good for a very long period of time, and they're like, I don't watch live TV. I don't have time for it. I don't have the brain power for it anymore because it just rots your brain, and I do genuinely mean that. There's nothing informative. There's nothing interesting. The news is always dour and dog shit. Like, it's just awful stuff. It's such crap. I watch YouTube, a little bit of Netflix here and there, Amazon Prime. That's it. Like, I get such better content from YouTube, better produced, better production values, much more entertaining and interesting individuals on this, like presenting these shows for me on YouTube. It's far more interesting than anything.
I can't agree with you more because I find myself, I barely watch TV anymore because the information that I want to find, if it's news, I'll mostly find it between YouTube and Twitter and printed articles. And beyond that, I'm looking for documentaries and stuff, not about entertainment because those I make for myself, but among other things that we don't cover, which I'm still interested in. And where do I go for that? YouTube. Simple as that. I haven't watched it. Like, you know how I use the TV? I use my TV mostly to watch like movies and TV series that I play by disc or through downloads or something like that. But the actual terrestrial programming, haven't watched in
Hmm.
years, and I don't miss it.
Yeah, I don't miss it at all. So they're putting an increase. It'll rise by £10.50, $12.50. It will be 169. Good word. £1.50 a year, which so it was going to rise by £14.50 a year, but it's too much anyway. And the government should have scrapped this. They don't put out anything good. It's absolute trash. This prime minister, I don't want to talk too much politics, but this prime minister, Rishi Sunak, was never voted in by the public. He literally staged a coup inside the Conservative Party to overthrow Liz Truss, and then has done fuck all with it. So bizarre. The weirdest thing, actually. Will probably go down in the history books as the most bizarre sort of political move in history, because he's been the most limp dick impotent fool we've ever had in power lately.
Even after Liz Truss.
Okay. Hey?
So even after his predecessor.
Yeah, he staged a coup to get rid of her.
Yeah,
and then I remember, like, he spoke big. There were many lofty words about how amazing.
He always talks big.
He's a WEF adherent, guys. Calm down.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. He's on their website. It's so funny. This guy's like, yeah, we will do everything to stop the small boats, because in the UK, we're an island. We've got a massive problem with small boats just appearing on our shores. Apparently, we've got no way to control that, and they're obviously just full of fighting age young men from African sort of nations, it seems, North Africa and stuff. And he's done nothing. In fact, immigration has rose. It's been the highest it's ever been. Over nearly 1 million, in fact. 740 odd thousand. Oh my god, it's insane.
Funny that I do believe the British people said what they wanted about that when they voted to leave the EU. So,
well, you know why? He's got you on a technicality. He's got Andre. He's got you on a technicality because they didn't specify. European immigration is down. All right, Andre, it's down. So technically,
yeah, you're right. Yeah. So
everywhere else,
the immigration of people
culturally opposed to the UK, fucking just open borders, mate. Come on in.
So basically, EU immigration of people that go to get jobs and have skills and talent, that is down. But fighting men or people in fighting age to live on welfare, that is rapidly up. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, love it. Anyway, that's the UK. Just a whistle-stop tour of how dog shit our country is at the moment. And it's getting even worse because the BBC license fee is going up and no one likes it and everyone hates it and it's fucking garbage. So there you go. Let's shuffle on because I don't think anyone else has got anything else to say.
Quick question, Nate. Is BBC America owned? I'm guessing they're owned by BBC.
Yeah, it would be. It would be the commercial arm of the BBC. So you've got the public arm, which is funded by the public with the license fee. And you've got the commercial arm of the BBC, which takes payments for things and stuff like that. So it's kind of like two sides. So it would probably be the commercial side of it because they've made deals with Disney Plus to sell Doctor Who to them and all this kind of stuff. So undoubtedly, that. I don't know exactly, but an educated guess, that's probably what it's going to be, basically.
Okay. I was just curious.
I would imagine anyway. But yeah, it's garbage. This country's garbage. So cool story. Let's shuffle.
Unfortunately, the UK is not alone about that, and that's all I'll say before we shuffle on. So
yeah. Accent Seller sent in 20 Norwegian kroner and says, I would love to see Mauler on Hcast. So epic. Yeah, I mean, I've spoken to Mauler on Drinker's Stream. I don't know him exactly, so I'll have to shoot him a DM. We've got a few people waiting to come back on. So we've got Jonas Campbell waiting to come back on, WDW Pro. I had some guy, another YouTuber. I not like a name. I have to look to figure out. He's asked to come on. And we're still trying to get Lauren Chen on. She wants to come on, but she's really busy. As you guys have seen, she's doing quite a lot of stuff now. So there's a few people that want to come on. So we will try and get them on for sure. because it just improves the content for you guys as well.
Mahler actually narrated our next documentary.
Wow.
That's cool.
On Lucas Arts Gaming, the history and downfall of Lucas Arts Gaming, which hopefully will be finished next year. I'm doing some location shooting next year for it.
Ooh la la.
So
Ooh
yeah,
la
it'll
we've got Nicky says
Yeah,
too
I'll
many
say it
toxic
later.
men here. Well, that's fine. You're apparently a YouTuber now. You can jump on.
yeah.
You can fucking
Come
jump
on,
on if you
Nicky.
want. Fight and talk. All right. You want to mouth off? You want to say it's too many toxic? You can get on air. All right.
We love Nicky.
Hold the fort. Hold the fort. You get on. You be a toxic femme on air. All right.
Bring it, Nicky. Bring it.
I'll send that
TM.
invite out. You coward. I'm joking. Honestly, you can come on. That's fine. You can jump
I know
on.
she's great. I love her.
Yeah.
Well, don't compliment her too much. All right.
Okay.
Whoa.
Okay. All right.
Someone will call you a fucking simp, mate.
All right. No.
All right.
Okay. She's fine. She's fine.
She aight.
She's reasonably all right.
Yeah.
Okay. Downplay it a little bit.
Okay. I'm sorry. I don't have to.
Anyway, let's shuffle on. This is all a joke, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
Just
We're good.
FYI.
We're
If
good.
anyone's worried, like, what's going on? He's
Yeah.
abusing a
No,
I'm not abusing.
we're fine.
But we are toxic. That's not a joke.
And we're all friends, so
Yeah.
it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. So does anyone want to take a quick whistle stop tour at some more legal trouble to do at Disney?
Yes.
Because this is a fascinating one.
Let's do it. Beauty and the Beast.
So Disney could be sued for about 100 to 150 million dollars and more because of the VFX tech that was used in Beauty and the Beast and other movies like Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers Endgame, Avengers Infinity War, all manner of stuff. Has anyone else heard of this today or not? Because this was yesterday.
Yeah, we covered it yesterday briefly.
Yeah,
I've not heard anything about this.
Do you want to do a quick rundown of this then, Andre?
Yeah, Andre,
Yeah,
go.
the very quick thing here, because this is something that this is just a sign of like when it rains, it pours, because it affects Disney, but in a sense, they are not to blame for it, at least not directly, because one of the VFX age houses that they used, they employed a facial motion capture technology called MOVA. Is that the name? Because that's certainly what I see in the headline. I don't remember if that's it, but yeah, MOVA then.
Yeah,
they
MOVA.
used this technology and they used it in a bunch of their movies. Like this software was first used in The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, and then it got better and better and better. And they used it in a bunch of their movies, most notably Beauty and the Beast. Here's the thing, though. The company that made MOVA, they had some internal strife. So basically, the guy who owns the license and who created it, at some point he was ousted, and it was his trainee that took over without that being fully legally cleared and everything. And now there's lawsuits over the profits generated for this technology that was kind of appropriated from the original creator. Now, this sucks for Disney, really, because they have just bought a finished thing that they'd assumed everything was in order, but it wasn't. And however much it sucks for them, the original creator of MOVA can now actually sue them for part of their profits because he never got compensated for his technology and his IP being used as a part of their massive blockbuster movies. Cultured, am I missing something, or is that the gist of it? I do believe that is the gist of it.
Yeah, you gave all the bullet points. It's all accurate, and they have real trouble again.
Yeah, and this one is not actually of their making. This is just an additional freaking headache.
Can actually be kind of their making to a degree, apparently, because There's a few bits and pieces. So Reardon cited evidence it argued that showed Disney was actually aware it was contributing and profiting off of DD3's infringement. So it might actually be an issue of their own making in that regard. Because if they knew that this company had infringed on it all, then there's a
I think the
serious
burden of
problem
proof
there.
would be on them, but yeah.
Well, it included a 2013 letter from Reardon's attorneys to LaSalle informing him that he didn't own Mova, which allegedly caused Disney to back out of acquiring the tech for itself. That could be provable to a degree. But the court found that notice to Disney that Reardon owned the tech was given before LaSalle sold it to SHST in 2013. The order stated Disney entered into its contract with DD3 on March 31st, 2015. Beauty and the Beast opened on March 17th, 2017. And this court did not hold that Reardon owned Mova until August 11th, 2017, nearly 5 months after the film opened.
Wow.
So that's not great. The sole claim that the jury will decide is whether Disney is liable for vicarious infringement. According to court documents, it's expected to argue that it lacked the practical ability to directly observe DD3's alleged infringement and couldn't recognize that the VFX firm was infringing on Reardon's intellectual property. That's not true if this is true, though, the evidence thing. DD3 was one of our visual effects companies and one of 4 visual effects companies and over 100 vendors, that Disney used, which used over 20 different software tools other than Mova just for its work on the Beast's face, worked with on Beauty, Disney argued. So again, they're trying to, I guess, argue ignorance again to a degree. It's dependent if they can prove that, though. What do we think? It's funny.
I think I know what happened, but I want to hear what the rest of you guys say first.
I think they're I think they're caught up in the same kind of situation they were caught up in when they with the BAM Tech stuff. They just eventually ended up buying BAM Tech to make it go away. So, but Disney does that all the time. They constantly use somebody else's tech and then they don't pay for it, or they don't really aren't supposed to have use of it or whatever. I mean, they did that in the ride attraction called Ratatouille. The Ratatouille attraction in the Paris and the US park. So I don't know. What do you speculate, Andre?
Well, what I think is that when this letter came in, I think it was very convenient of them not to notice and not to follow too much up on it, because as it say here, they deal with so many partners, so many things all the time, and then comes like this one letter. And then I'm curious, how many other such letters do they receive with like various BS about other companies they work for and stuff? I mean, a company like Disney, all the vendors they use, has to be quite a bit, right? So how is this one supposed to make them pay extra attention? I think it would be very convenient of them to just say, this is an internal problem with this vendor and we'll just let them deal with it and move on, if it even got the attention of Disney legal. Because I think that a big part of this thing is obviously it was sent to them, but what kind of attention did it get within Disney when it came there? I'm not sure it got the attention it needed, because it generally in big corporations, and Nick will know this, some things are very inconvenient to notice. When there's a lot of writing on something, when you have like this big project, huge investment, hundreds of millions of dollars down the line, and then you have like this thing right here, which potentially could be trouble, but it's very inconvenient to notice it and do something about it. I mean, you'd think that these big corporations, that they would just have everything in order always. But when these machines are rolling, sometimes it's very convenient not to notice, deliberately not to notice. This happens. I think that may have happened here. Tom, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And you have a situation here where, like, I was going to bring up a culture brought up before about Disney using that technology in the parks. Like, yeah, this is not, look, if you think that these studios are as forthright and use things the way they should, or don't download things off of torrents like the average consumer, then you're full of shit. Because in fact, I've had somebody tell me directly from Warner Brothers one time that they were having issues burning out a copy for to get a movie put on DVD, and they're like, "Oh, just download Nero." They downloaded an illegal copy of Nero, right? So you think that these folks really give a shit? No. And that's just it. They just hope they don't get caught. And like, you know, I think Culture said it. If they do get caught, then they just buy the problem away. At the end of the day, what is this going to do? It's going to cost Disney a lot of money. They're going to write a check and it's going to probably go away. But if this individual is not going to back down and he keeps going after him, this could cost them a lot of the money that they made over the last few years. Because, I mean, is this, they use this technology in Beauty and the Beast. I'd imagine they used it in probably The Lion King. They used it in Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame. I'm sure they used it in a bunch of other movies. And this also goes towards their own stupidity. They've got in-house visual effects companies, right? They own ILM. What is this?
But at the same time, though, I just want to say a counterpoint. Actually, I'm very glad that they may use some external things which are better. Like, for instance, we all reacted to to how bad some of Disney's de-aging technology is, and that is specifically because they use their own internal de-aging from ILM when you have outside things which actually
they wouldn't use deep fake. They wouldn't use deep fake, for instance.
But they didn't, because they had their own internal copyrighted thing. So actually, I will give them credit for this. But again, so they do it because it's the right thing to do. They integrated many places, and then suddenly, oh, here's a letter saying that things might not be completely okay. Let's just pretend we never saw this, and if it's an issue later, we'll just pay some go-away money. I mean, this is typically how it is. Like, for instance, with huge engineering disasters and everything, well, very often those things could have been avoided because there was one critical thing, that it was too convenient not to notice, or rather it would have been extremely inconvenient for the person who discovered it. Yeah, the company might make some changes, but that person's career is on the line for putting the company in legal liability and costing them millions in extra work and everything, just for letting them know, hey, there's a problem right here. That's probably going to be fine. But probably nothing is ever going to happen, but I noticed that I'm raising a stink about it. That person's career is over. That's how it is in engineering. Probably that's how it is here too. Sometimes, always remember this in big corporations, sometimes it's inconvenient to notice these things, especially for the person doing the noticing.
Yeah, and Andre's spot on there for sure. And I know that firsthand.
Exactly, that's what I meant. Like,
yeah,
you know, corporate America, you know how things work.
Yeah,
that's why you have whistleblowers and why you need whistleblower protection. And that's the whole point, right? It's because they see something that's wrong in the company that shouldn't be there, but it's just too expensive to fix it.
Yeah.
And for the person that calls attention to it, that person's going to be in a lot of problems. That's what I'm thinking here too. If someone within Disney had like all these integrations that we have, all the stuff we're doing in all these movies, we need to shut that down right now. Yeah, I know $500 million is on the line because we're already using it, but we have to fix this. No, it don't work like that.
No.
And that's why we get stories like this.
Yep.
Oh, glory. Disney's troubles, eh? Disney's troubles.
It seems to be never ending for them. It's like honestly, one thing after another, like a snowball rolling downhill.
Yeah, but you know why? Because there's blood in the water now.
Yeah.
So now, for instance, this guy, before Disney would be like so strong that no story would, there would be no stories. No one would pick up some asshole suing Disney over something. But now suddenly you can get some traction over it. If you have some issue with Disney for anything, they're weakened now. now is the time to do something. If you have some kind of issue with them and you want go away money just to make this stop and go away right away, now is the time. Which is why all of these things are coming now, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's more to come of stuff like this as well for that exact reason.
So much more.
Oh yeah.
Yep, and that's another reason. I think Universal is smelling the blood in the water, doing the Nintendo theme park. You got the American Heartland theme park coming out in the Midwest over here. Like people are starting to capitalize on Disney's downfall.
Yeah. Oh, massively. Even doing the articles, they're capitalizing off of it.
Yeah,
because they're getting through.
There's so much bad shit happening to them right now that the media cannot get out in front of their shit fast enough to help them, right? Like I just shared you a story in the background that's clearly being put out there to just kind of distract from the other problems by reminding people of how hard, Rachel Zegler and Halle Bailey got it right now. Trying to remind the audience how bad they are. So they're doing everything they can to just kind of try and get people's attention away from the whole investigation, the everything else.
Legal problems, maybe.
Multiple legal problems at this point. Yeah.
Don't pay attention to what this hand's doing over here.
Yeah. Just look at this, please.
Yeah.
Look, in every studio on every day, they're going through constant legal shit. Like it's just the way it works. It's a business, right? It's the name of the game. But in this instance, Disney has had so much stuff come at them at this point. I'm just sitting here waiting for the next big bomb because it's hilarious. We've been predicting this shit for years. Nobody has listened to us. And I mean, all of us on this panel, all of our fellow YouTubers and pundits and whatnot. And the Schadenfreude right now is hilarious. I'm just loving every bit of this. And watching them squirm and try to make excuses like that article we were just going through earlier is just hilarious. Again, this one I don't think is going to go too far. They'll probably just write out some checks to the dude, make him go away.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that'll be the end of the day.
Maybe from some public funds from Reedy Creek. Who knows? Yeah. As soon as they got that in their pockets,
they'll offer him a house in Reedy Creek. Yeah.
They'll use the profits from all the great movies they've been putting out.
All those $1 billion profits.
Yeah, because the Marvels was such a success, as people seem to try. They desperately try to claim that film was a success. Not even $100 million domestic. Woeful, terrible, bad. Oh dear, oh dear. But guys, let's shuffle on. We've got a few super chats that came through. Well, membership milestone. Sorry, so Jay has been a member for 33 months. Thank you so much. Genuinely appreciate that. And Miranda Sinistra has been a member for 3 months. And if you become a member, you get a free monthly super chat as well. So this is what Miranda is using here to speak to us. It says, when it rains, it pours. Disney is trapped in a monsoon right now. I like poetry, mate. That was poetry. I like that. Absolute poetry. But let's shuffle on. Let's get to another topic. And yes, I know it's Disney heavy. I am sorry. But, once the strike, obviously the strike's over now, things will start to come up. More movies will come out and then we'll cover some other things. But Disney's the
I have to say one thing about that. The rest of Hollywood is still in striking mode. I think they've all taken Christmas vacations. I mean, there was even a story in, I think it was like one of the trades had a story about where are all deals? Like Hollywood is all taking Christmas early this year.
What did I tell you guys? When I joke with Script Doctor, I said all they'll do is they'll get this thing figured out just in time to go on break. So that nothing's going to get done till next year.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. So we talk about Disney. Disney is what's going on.
Real quick though, salute Miranda Sinistra, gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much. Do appreciate that. Thank you so much. And just real quick before we shuffle on to the next topic as well, T Neil sending $2 says only if the check is dated to February 33rd. Oh dear. But yeah, that's right. Let's shuffle on out of this. Yeah, so there's a lot of interesting stuff that's happening, to be fair. A over at Disney with respect to this kind of proxy war. So we got this one from That Park Play. Says Disney proxy battle heats up as Ancora Holdings backs Nelson, Peltz, and Trian. We kind of covered a little bit of that, but it is important to kind of highlight. And then there's also articles like this from the Hollywood Reporter.
Yeah.
So when you said sort of there's blood in the water, etc. This is absolutely the case. So I thought we'd cover this first. So this proxy battle, I mean, absolutely is heating up, and this was bound to happen anyway. So the pending proxy battle for board seats on the Walt Disney Company is heating up as Ancora Holdings Group, through their support behind Nelson Peltz. They're a shareholder, right? So back in January, Triumph Fund Management nominated Peltz, and then he recruited Ike Perlmutter, basically. There's been this whole thing going on throughout this whole time. The initial proxy battle, they've stopped the proxy battle. They've started it again. Now they want more board seats. They got their board seats denied massively. So that was that done. Now, Ancora Holdings Group, which manages $8.7 billion in assets overall, not just Disney, announced their involvement in the proxy battle earlier today in a press release, noting the addition of a shareholder representative or investor designated directors to the board can help ensure that these efforts are carried out in the most effective way. In an effort to avert an election contest following a year of distractions and disappointing performance, we hope you join us in encouraging the board to pursue a viable compromise with Triumph Fund Management, LP, and Nelson Peltz. Can't really deny any of that. It has been a very disappointing year in performance for Disney. It has been. I mean, a sequel to $1 billion movie hasn't even crossed $100 million at the domestic box office. That's irrefutably bad performance. That sucks massively. So the group also called out Bob Iger and the Walt Disney Company's mismanagement. A degree of shareholder-driven change is certainly warranted in Disney's boardroom following an extended period of absent-minded governance, ineffective succession planning. This is all firmly slamming Bob Iger. Polarizing actions, all the political stuff, and sustained value destruction.
That's the big one.
Yeah, massively. So it did not
All
stop there.
the others would have been fine were it not for that.
So it didn't stop there. Ancora lampooned the current board and current executives. Many of Disney's current directors and executives bear responsibility for lapses that have undermined the company's positioning in the exceedingly competitive and ever-changing entertainment world. While it has been argued that challenges largely stem from the tenure of Bob Chapek, fucking Bob Chapek, the board was in the driver's seat before, during, and after that time. I love the fact that they say that. They're like, yeah. Loads of people keep saying it's Bob Chapek, but actually, the board was there still. So to that point, Ancora said the board's stewardship issues have not only resulted in financial setbacks by allowing Disney to devote shareholders' resources to a number of politicized initiatives, the board has overseen a deterioration of what was once the most unifying brand in the world. The company is increasingly dividing rather than delighting a growing number of consumers. And that is true, demonstrably true. You get political anytime. Like I genuinely, no one watching this knows my actual personal politics and where I vote. It's there are certain rules, generally speaking, you don't get overly political with things because you will always divide people. And a big company like this, bigger exposure, worldwide, etc., they start to announce these things. I mean, you can do what you like if you want to know your politics, that's fine. I don't personally care. But is there the potential to divide people? Yes, it's demonstrably of course it does it. And so they say this, in closing, we want to address what looks to be a self-serving publicity stunt on the part of Blackwell's Capital LLC. The firm's principal, Jason Aintarby, recently attacked Mr. Peltz's effort at Disney hours before reportedly launching a campaign at the Wendy's company, where Mr. Peltz is chairman and the largest shareholder. We believe the record shows that Mr. Aintarby is a publicity-seeking green mailer with a questionable personal and business history. And then they say more. I can't believe they said this at the end of their statement. It's so bizarre. On the other hand, it is widely known that Mr. Peltz is a pioneer in shareholder activism who has made billions of dollars over many decades for himself, his partners, and fellow shareholders in the companies in which he has invested. Mr. Peltz, or a qualified designee, would make a fantastic addition to Disney's board.
Agreed.
That is all from another shareholder, big shareholder, as well, not a massively tiny shareholder. So it is heating up. What do we think? Just holy shit, it's going on.
This is amazing. But I want to hear what you others, what the rest of you think. But I think this is amazing.
I think it's
the fact that we have that counter thing in the Hollywood Reporter. That tells you everything you need to know about the situation right now. Like the media is coming out in Disney's defense big time right now.
I mean, look, I mean, you're seeing the status quo's conversation around this, the people that support their political activism, obviously through PNC Media, which is Hollywood Reporter, but you're also then seeing the other side of that equation, the people who actually have, skin in the game, money in the game, and want to preserve Disney value and shareholder value. It's an entirely other, amazing thing. And look, one of the elements in that particular Ancora letter that went out to, folks that have money with them, was a very important fact that nobody seems to understand right now. According to a recent Axis Harris poll, the 100, Disney is now the 5th most polarizing brand in the world. That's a huge statement.
Bad.
I mean, just consider that, because that's a factual thing. And we talk about, trust an awful lot when it comes to corporations and institutions, and Disney has run themselves into the ground with consumer trust. So yeah, this is gonna be a thing for a while, and I have a feeling that you're gonna get more and more people rallying around the side of replace this non-functional board. Because again, I mean, who's the chairman right now? Well, that's the guy that came over from Nike who, happens to enjoy forced labor in a particular country. Yeah. I mean, we can go down, this road. It's not going to look good for a lot of these people that there because they don't really have industry experience. And that's why they had to bring somebody in that actually had some kind of experience. I mean, we'll see, but I have a feeling that this is going to be a pretty nasty fight.
Well, and what I think is hilarious about it. Oh, go ahead, Nick.
Oh, I was just going to say, the way I'm seeing things at this point is like Peltz and Perlmutter and people that are siding with them. They're like the warriors for all the other small time investors of Disney. They're in there trying to get in there to try to force some sort of change and change of direction, to help protect other people's investment that's might not be as big as the people that's on the boards and getting, all this other extra money every month or every year from whatever other investment companies are giving them free handouts or whatnot. And it feels like they're kind of like fighting for the small guy as well as themselves at this point.
Yeah. And I mean, if you can share this here, what I got here, this was that deal at the Trump rally. And I think it says everything you need to know about the situation. I think Peltz and Perlmutter know what's wrong and they want to fix it.
Yeah.
I don't remember if we showed this on here or not. So
some of the greatest leaders in history have been way over 80. Some of the people I know, some of the smartest people, I have one of them here tonight. He's one of the most incredible businessmen in the world. And I won't say he's over 80, but let's say he's right around that. I don't want to insult him. The great Ike Perlmutter, he's right over here. He's one of the greatest businessmen. He owned Marvel. He sold it to Disney. He's not too happy with Disney going woke, I will tell you, but he's one of the greatest businessmen.
In case you didn't know, they live down the street from each other in West Palm Beach.
Thank you, Valiant, for having that clip handy.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
Right.
That to me tells me what, because he just gave, Perlmutter just gave Peltz all his controlling interest in the shares. So that means he's probably in line. That's my point.
And I think that this thing right here, this is what I've been saying the whole time. The only thing that Disney changes is if all of the shareholders who are not BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, or aligned with them in any way. All the others need to align themselves with Nelson Peltz. That is what is happening right here. This is more of the shareholders, the exact shareholders that Nelson Peltz need to win over, that he obviously has won over, because they are publicly coming out in support of him. So obviously there have been talks behind the scenes. These are already aligned, and probably there are more shareholders which are considering their options right now, and this is why they come out now in public. This is only goes to show that there is a war heating up among Disney shareholders. And what the Disney shareholders need to understand is that a very big chunk of them are not in it for the interest of the shareholders. They have another game entirely. So the shareholders that actually want what's best for Disney, they need to align behind Nelson Peltz here. They have no other choice. They need to do a complete takeover, because what Peltz has said is that they need to take this to the shareholders. The shareholders need to vote. And by that time, they need to have solidified their position to the point that even though the biggest institutional ones are with Iger, all the others are going to be many enough to force Peltz on the board and to force change that way. That's the only way meaningful change will come to Disney.
Yeah, you have to. Well, you're almost infiltrating the rot, basically, trying to sort of cancel it out with something that's not rotten to its core.
Well, and it's funny because Disney exposed themselves just a week ago or so with their that 10K filing to the SEC, which is a required filing, and they outlined their risks and the things that were, that were damaging, their reputation and their appreciation. They know what the problems are.
No,
they and I said it before, I'll say it again. They have no plans to solve them. They have no plans to change course. They have no plans to prop, the public support up again. They don't mind being a very divisive entity now. That's insane.
It is madness that they're happy just to keep going down that path, continue on, time and time again. It doesn't matter. It's fine. It's fine.
Everything's burning around them. Oh yeah, everything's fine here, guys. Nothing to see, nothing to look at.
Yeah,
that's my favorite little.
I think hold on. Yeah. I think I actually have that. There you go.
Do you really? Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Don't worry about it. No, it's fine. This is all good. All these lawsuits, don't go away. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. What are you guys talking about? Everything's good here.
Yeah. What lawsuits? What are you on about? It's fine. King Christ. Oh, goodness me. Goodness me. Well, there you go. There you go. Culture, what you got going on, chap?
Well, I've got a special guest on the Friday post flight, which kicks up right after FNT on tomorrow. That's going to be Brett Desovic from Pop Culture Crisis, also from Tim Pool. He's on regular on Tim Pool's show. So
nice. Yeah. Nick, you want to promote your new show tomorrow, don't you?
Yeah, premiere the EBN cast on Friday afternoons pre FNT. We're gonna go for 1 hour. Me, Mexican Iron Man, Stone Loki, and Jonas J. Campbell from that Park Place. And we will have rotating weekly guests. Nate, Culture, Andre, Tom. I'm sure we'll all make appearances. I'll send invites out to all those guys, but we'll rotate somebody in different every single week. But yeah, it'll be every Friday from 2 to 3 o'clock Central Time. Episode 1 will be tomorrow. And then tonight is our weekly live stream on the channel. We moved from Saturday nights to Thursday nights, so we'll have our weekends off. And just uploaded the rest of our One Piece reactions up on our Patreon. And that's pretty much about it.
Nice. Andre, what you got going on, dude?
We got more videos coming on Midnight's Edge. Of course, we dropped a couple in the last few days. Check them out. We had Andrew from Legal Mindset on yesterday in Midnight's Edge in the morning. So check out clips from that over at Midnight's Edge Live Archives. And then, of course, join us for Midnight's Edge in the morning tomorrow at 9 a.m. LA time, which translates to 6 p.m. Central European time, 5 p.m. UK time, and for everywhere else, you do the math.
Excellent. Tom, what's happening in your world, bro?
Well, in about 2.5 hours, I'll be on Midnight's Edge After Dark, something like that, and we're going to talk about the princesses. Hey, the princesses allowed. I'm so proud of my thumbs lately. Yeah, so you can find me there.
Awesome. Well, there you go, guys. Everyone, please do check out everyone's channels linked down below in the description box. Real quick, though, Paulus Plains sent in 100 Norwegian kroner. Says the real stars of Midnight's Edge and Mistake Reviews are the dogs, Sadie and Jasper. Or Andre,
not wrong.
And Mistake Reviews and others. You are absolutely correct. And if you want a picture of Jasper, the awesome little chap, please do follow me over on Twitter at Mistake Reviews or my Instagram at Mistake Reviews, and you can find little doggo pictures over there. So what's happening with me in this crazy, crazy world? We'll back tomorrow with more content, just plowing through it. Yeah, there's a little bit of a delay in movie reviews. I'll be watching Godzilla -1 Monday. I'm watching it early by comparison to everyone else in the UK, just because I managed to get advanced screening, basically. So that'll be out on Monday. My review will be out on Monday. I can't wait to watch it. I'm really excited. There may be a review, release, and then a stream as well. I might stream that evening if I'm that excited. We will see. But that's about it, guys. From me and everyone else, we thank you so much for joining. We had like 900 odd people here. Means a lot. You could be anywhere this on your Thursday and you choosing to spend it with us. So it really does mean a lot, and it's quite humbling. So thank you so much. We will catch you next Tuesday. So from me and everyone else, cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.
Bye, guys.